Drivers, start your engines!
Be plenty of carnage, so full head on them, wound up. Yeehaw, boys. Holy. It's a junkyard. Spend too much time hitting people. Chill a second. No gas, gotta hang off here. Don't overdrive. Just let me do my job for 10 times. I don't care if I wreck the whole field. I'm over him. He's just a moron. That was an absolute bull. Not clear. Awesome. I tell you, mama ain't raised no. What the f*** are you doing out here? People are saying, just racing like idiots. I don't care. Just let me drive. What is he doing? This is embarrassing. What a clown show.
Did you ever think you would see that?
How the f*** did that just happen? Holy cow! Let's go!
One of my favorite bits on this show is how our intro features just an exorbitant amount of swearing and bleeps and cursing, and yet we do our best to be mild-mannered between the three of us. I know the chat holds us accountable when we get a little too off our rocker. It's just the juxtaposition from our intro to the three of us chatting NASCAR every week is kind of jarring, but it's a lot of fun. Rock and roll, ready to go. We've got a lot to get to tonight. Welcome to NASCAR Weekly Podcast, Wednesday night. My name is Eric Estep. I am your host, your moderator, your MC for the evening. I am flanked to my left, stage right, by Daniel Baldwin. Danny B Talks. Is that T for, I know that T's not for Texas. It's got to be for Tennessee, but still on theme this week. Danny, how are you doing?
I am good. Yeah, no, I'm thinking of weirdly, Texas and Tennessee, they just announced this week that the Texas-Tennessee game this year, they will be encouraging the crowd to do the checker kneeling effect, meaning we'll have like the orange and white sections checkerboarding the entire stadium. And Eric, I know you're a little bit more neutral for Texas fans because, you know, you do have a Oklahoma Sooner wife, but man, some of those fans can get a little just easily offended. All I said today on a post on Twitter about football was just simply, I don't think they'll win their first time inside Neyland Stadium because it's a very rowdy stadium. I don't think they'll win. And then just someone just went ballistic because I just said that.
Hey, I mean, it's with the two orange T teams going head to head later.
It's definitely going to be a high price ticket to get into. I don't know if I'll be actually going to get, but I would like to.
I am sure those Longhorns, they do travel. Jarrett is to my right, stage left, the iceberg. How are you doing this week, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm just, doing better than I guess Kyle Busch, Connor Nemechek, Ryan Preece, definitely. Christopher Bell. I'm doing a bit better than them.
Yeah, well, they are all professional race car drivers. That is
okay. Them
cool.
at Texas.
Yes. You are in a better emotional state right now than they probably are after suboptimal runs this past week. And we're going to get into all that and more tonight. We have so much to get to. We're going to talk Texas. We've got a lot of news this week, from penalties to Blaney getting a contract extension. Watkins Glen coming up, could be a wet and slippery spring race at the Glen. We'll talk about all of that and so much more. Welcome in, folks. We've got the chat on one screen for me. We got the chat sometimes popping up on screen right here. Spencer Purcell with our first comment here on the screen on tonight. We'll get to super chats at the top of the hour, our first super chat stage break. But Spencer kicking us off there with our first topic of the night. Chase Elliott gets his second win of the season, his second win at Texas Motor Speedway in the last 3 years. And really the second half of this race, it was a pretty dominant showing. We know Texas is all about track position. Once Chase got ahead of the tire strategy, got that clean air, Denny gave him some shots, but he never had enough to deliver the final blow. Chase Elliott gets the win. Danny, your reaction to Chase having 2 wins. He's the only guy besides Reddick with multiple wins this season. That's got to stand for something.
Still bizarre. Some of his fans want to remove Alan Gustafson as his crew chief, and I just say, by all means, have at it. The 48 would gladly take him right now. But hey, shout out to him. He gets a third place finish though for 2 weeks in a row, much needed for the way his season's gone. Yeah, for Chase Elliott, that's I originally had him going into the season as my number one driver when they got out of the regular season. And I think he's starting to prove why I could have, been right to think that. Obviously, Tyler Reddick's still got the very heavy fronted, part of the season so far. But Chase Elliott, is definitely still coming up to some tracks that he's gotten wins at. We're going to the track he got his very first Cup Series win at, Watkins Glen. And I don't know if he's necessarily going to do that again with SVG on the scene these days, but definitely still going to some tracks that have been good to him in the past. And we'll see some more coming up. He's won at Nashville Super Speedway. This is another kind of like a 1.5 mile track he just won on. So we could see Chase Elliott win at a few other tracks coming up on the schedule here. If I'm a Chase Elliott fan, I've got to be feeling good about where the season is progressing right now, and the fact that we've seen him now win twice and no Kyle Larson win yet is truly crazy. No William Byron win. He's the only Hendrick driver to go to victory lane this season, as many races as we are into the year, and he's setting the standard right now. And it's kind of refreshing to see him back to being the poster child again this season at Hendrick, because it felt like when Larson come to the team that role kind of went away to him, and Chase Elliott reminding people, hey, I'm the 2020 champion. I'm still here.
Yeah, the last few years, Chase has continued to be extremely consistent. He's got the best average finish of anyone in the Cup Series in the next gen car era. But yeah, he went to 3 straight championship fours from 2020 to 2022. He won that championship in 2020. Then Larson's title in 21 kind of overshadowed him for a couple of years there. But the last few seasons, Chase has not really been one of the top title threats. In fact, he missed the playoffs, missed the chase altogether in 2023 for a variety of reasons. So to see him back winning races, I mean, you look at the basic stats, I think he's the top guy at Hendrick this year, undisputed. Like, he is leading the pack there, and that's quite the statement early this season. Jarrett, what do you think of Chase Elliott's strong start?
I mean, looking at his stat line, it's as good as anybody. I mean, 5 top fives is second in the series, tied with Gibbs.
Anyone
and
but Reddick.
Denny.
It's basically he's as good as anyone but Tyler Reddick right now.
Top fives, he's tied with Gibbs and Denny. He's tied with the two of them and Ryan Blaney for top 10s. He's doing everything he has to do. And I think when we had the chase announced in January, I think a lot of us brought up the point that this suits somebody like Chase Elliott, who's been very consistent, who is able to, maybe the ceiling might not be as high in recent years, but the floor is not really as low as a lot of people. Like, the sky is not falling. Like, Chicken Little can sit down for this one. And it seems like it's been building too for a while. Like, 2024, after the 2023 year, he's still good. He's still Chase Elliott, but it's not, where he was in 2022. Last year, there were probably 2 or 3 races. I immediately think of Dover that he should have won, or that he was in position to win and didn't win. And now they're capitalizing on that. What is surprising me is how quick in the season, even with Chevy at a disadvantage compared to recent years, he's winning. Because to me, he kind of follows the season path of a Tony Stewart, where he'll start decent and then start winning the later the season goes. It seems like he gets better as the year goes on. If that's the case again, man, I mean, I think everyone was right in thinking he's a championship contender. I think he is a championship contender this year.
I find this interesting. We'll get in the super chats later. But Ryan, PSU fan, said he saw on Facebook that 2018 is the last time that Chase Elliott won the first 2 wins for Hendrick, and that was much later in the season. That was a much different time for Hendrick Motorsports, with a very young driver lineup and a very much regressing Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, and that was the first year of the Camaro in the Cup Series. This is the first year of this slightly modified Camaro. So, no, to your point, though, Jarrett, Chase Elliott winning so quickly off the bat, and he's had other races he nearly won. What I like about Chase Elliott is obviously he's stacking points, stacking wins early in the season. He looks like he could be a top 5 seed come chase time. But once we get to the chase, there's a lot of intermediate tracks in those final 10, especially with the Roval now going back to the Charlotte Oval. And Chase Elliott at the 1.5 miles this year wins Texas, was chasing down Denny and finished second at Las Vegas. And I think he was 8th at Kansas, a slightly off day for Hendrick all around. And then there's Martinsville late in the year, which he also won at. And he's probably his best short track. So I really like how those final 8 or 10 races line up for Chase. So
Yeah,
if he's a top 5 seed, he's a championship threat, no doubt.
I honestly, the only ones I worry about for Chase and Hendrick at large for Gateway and Talladega. Those are the only two I'm like actually kind of worried about when it comes to him scoring points, doing well. Like it shapes up great for him. And if this team follows this way, I mean, we were talking about 2 months ago, like, you know, maybe we should pump the brakes on the whole like fire Allen talk. He did make some not so good calls at points, but on the other end, isn't he the winningest crew chief in NASCAR right now? I think like the of active
I think I
crew
did see
chiefs
that in the Cup Series. I think so.
I mean, it's longevity. He's lasted this long. He's a damn good crew chief, and that team I think is starting to click more and more each week.
Yeah, no, this is the earliest we've seen the 9 peak, and maybe this isn't the peak. Maybe the peak is going to be a new all-time high for Chase and that 9 team later this season. Taking a look at a few other notable finishers, Denny Hamlin finished second, a close second. I felt like he was always like one step behind Chase. You know, when they were pinned a little deeper in the field on tires, it felt like Chase could get through traffic a little quicker than Denny. You know, final restart, 4 to go. They're side by side heading into turn 1. Even Denny got the push initially from Chris Buescher to have a nose out front, but was still no match for Elliott. Elliott still had the preferred position, but another great run for Denny Hamlin. I know he's frustrated. He wants to rack up wins. He's come so close to winning a few races this year, but he is still solidly second in points. Tyler Reddick, he put tires on late, drove back up to 4th, but he had a top 5 car. His average finish continues to somehow improve. It's like he's averaging a top 5 11 races into the season. Danny, I want to throw this to you. Alex Bowman, back-to-back podium finishes, 3rd at Talladega, 3rd at Texas. You know, Talladega is Talladega, but Texas, he was in the mix most of the day. He gave his teammate the winning push on that final restart. And Alex looks good. What do you think?
This has not been a great track for Alex Bowman historically, so it was very encouraging to see a consecutive 3rd place finish here. And they qualified well too. They started 9th, so it just kind of goes to show what starting where can do for you throughout the whole weekend. So very happy for the 48 team. They need this. They actually, we'll get into the standings a little bit, but hey, they passed not just 1 but 2 cars in the standings. They are now ahead of Cody Ware and Cole Custer now. So some people were kind of pointing it out to me on Twitter, and I think they're being a little far-fetched, but people are kind of starting to say, hey, if he gets enough finishes like this, and if they can make the stage points work, a run up to 16th isn't out of the equation, but I'm not banking on it. I am just happy, for a good finish here. I posted the meme. I said Bowman consecutive 3rd place finishes, and it was that meme like, I want you to put the word back out there. We back up.
I mean, it's great for him. Yeah, even if he doesn't make a run to the Chase, because I just looked it up, he has 127 points out. I mean, the difference from 1st to 3rd is like about 127 points. So yeah, I mean, like, he gets red hot. I mean,
at this point, all I'm really hoping for is just to see more finishes like this. Maybe a win, a feel good win would be amazing. And the one I really wanted to win, just because I don't know how many more years we'll have it at this track, and it's such a good track for him. I want to see him win the All-Star race at Dover this year. That's the one I want to see him win. That would just feel really good to see Alex Bowman win an All-Star race.
That would be cool. No, and I agree with you. I think right now the goal is try to win some races, just build some momentum, and get a deal done for 2027 and maybe beyond.
At this point, still got it. Race like you got nothing to lose. At this point, you can tell yourself, I've lost a ride unless I can prove that I should stay in it. So race like you want to keep the car, essentially.
A few other quick notables. Top 5 for Chris Buescher at his home track. Great to see. I believe he is now 5th in points, if I'm not mistaken. Daniel Suarez, 6th. That's 4 straight Texas top 10s for Daniel Suarez. Just keeps getting it done. Carson Hocevar won the pole, came home 7th. Nice recoveries by William Byron, Bubba Wallace, and Ryan Blaney. Byron spun during the race, finished 8th. Bubba crashed in practice, drove a backup car to 9th, and Ryan Blaney 10th after qualifying 31st.
I want to bring up the Byron side of it. He did this at Kansas too.
Yes.
And you might like the comp I gave to to Byron on Sunday when I was talking after the race. And it's obviously not the same amount because he's lower in points and all of that, different system still, but it's very reminiscent of like a Matt Kenseth in 2003. When you would watch some of those races, he would run like mid-pack 90% of the day. And then all of a sudden they're like, how the hell is Matt Kenseth up to 7th? He's been like 20th all day. That's William Byron. Like he was not running really all that great the last 2 races on mile and a halves. But then he just shows up at the end and it's just like, where the hell did he come from? He just gained another, chunk of 5 to 10 points. And I think that when that 24 team gets it, because they're going to get it, because Hendrick is just too good to hold down. Like that, I don't know if they'll get high enough in the points to maybe compete seed wise, but if they do, they'd be a sneaky team to watch as the season goes on.
Yeah, that's definitely a team that you feel like, we talk about Chase Elliott, maybe they're at the peak already. Obviously, William Byron has not peaked. We know what that team is capable of. So someone to watch as the summer months roll on. I want to give this guy a shout out. The finish was ugly. He backed it into the fence late. But Corey Heim, in just his 3rd cup start of the season, only like his 7th cup start ever, led 69 laps in that number 67 Toyota. Yes, that is both of the funny numbers right there in one sentence. Round of applause. Please clap. But Corey Heim, I know it was some off strategy and some different things, but he looked, until he wiped out, he looked like he belonged. So, I looked it up before Sunday's race, and I hate to bag on this guy because he ran top 10 all day. Riley Herbst had like his best cup race ever. I want to give Riley his credit, but just to compare the two for a moment, because that's what everyone's doing. Riley Herbst for his career, I think, has 2 laps led at non-super speedways. Corey Heim, 69 at Texas.
Nice.
Didn't finish well though. So I'll give Riley the point. He finished 11th, I believe. Heim was like 30th. So kudos to Riley Herbst, 23-11 fast once again. Let's get into some struggles here. I'll toss this to you first, Jared. I thought Christopher Bell might have had the best car on Sunday, but trying to dart his way past a sliding Todd Gillen, got clipped and wound up in the garage. Just another disappointing result for C. Bell. How many more of these can he afford?
He's nothing bad.
Not many, man. He gained a spot in the points yesterday, but still, like, he's way lower than they probably should be at this point. And like, you can see the speed is there. Like his 4 top 10s on the year do not tell the story at all. He's led over 300 laps this year. I think the only ones he's behind are Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin.
I think you're right.
He's been right up there with everybody. Just the finishes, and what killed him is he couldn't get any stage points either because he got taken out so early in the race. If this was in the 3rd stage, the damage would not seem as bad, but you had a last place finish. We knew the race was going to have some attrition to it as well. So it's like, if you just survived a little bit, you could also get some points there. I think they're going to get it turned around, but the clock is ticking at this point. I think that there needs to be a sense of urgency to start moving up. Him and his teammate, Chase Briscoe, both.
Yeah, because Chase Briscoe had contact on pit road. He also seemed to have a top 5 car. Yeah, those are 2 JGR Toyotas that have had top 5 speed most weeks, but have very few top 5s to show for it. Bell specifically, if you look at the last 4 races, I'm going to try to do this off memory now. At Bristol, he sped on pit road and then crashed in traffic. That was on him. That was driver mistake. If I recall, Kansas, remind me what happened at Kansas. Oh, I shouldn't have attempted this off of memory. I had it written down. Talladega, I know he was Talladega. He was running top 10, crashed on the last lap. Kansas, he was battling for the win like in overtime and got squeezed into the fence.
Yeah, and then he was the one that spun. I picked him because I was like, everyone in that we picked 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there was Bell.
It was contact from Tyler Reddick, according to Google. That's what happened.
Yeah, it was like Hamlin and Reddick kind of got together, got up into Bell. So he was battling for the win on the final like 2 laps and got spun. And then so that one, you can't really blame him on that one. You can't blame him for Talladega, and you can't. I guess you can kind of blame him for Texas. He could have checked up sooner. Denny was able to miss the wreck without any issue. Bell I guess he saw a hole and thought he could shoot the gap and just misjudged it slightly. But it is mostly bad luck. At the end of the day, he's just not been able to catch a break these last few weeks.
Take the super speedways out. Let's just say at Bristol, he got just 15 more points on the day. Let's say at Kansas, he finished up top 5, gets about roughly 20 more. And at Texas, he probably could have been in the 40s. That's 75 points, just like scratch rough hand that I'm thinking.
And that would have him 5th in points as opposed to 12th as he is now.
These bad finishes add up, and you feel the weight of it. Like you feel the weight of it this year more.
He was gifted a spot yesterday because of the Preece penalty, but otherwise he would be 13th.
All right, this was a hot take before the season, but I think that we can kind of add this into the struggle bus segment.
Let's move to this guy. Yeah, another pit road incident. Logano got into Custer, who just stopped in the middle of the left lane. Logano, I guess, didn't see him in time. But Joey with the DNF, he's down to 17th in points, currently 7 points out of the top 16. Yeah, gentlemen, do we think Joey Logano, 3-time Cup champion, even year Logano, is Joey Logano in serious danger of missing the chase?
He's in danger, but there is some tracks still coming up that I feel like they could turn it around and stuff. But the only way he's going to be contending for his even year championship is if he barely makes a chase. He wins like every race. I don't see that happening.
I mean, so you got to look at the ones he's around. The only person ahead of him right now in the points that I could see performing worse on speed at some point would be Suarez, and he's performed way better this year and overachieved. I feel bad saying this for our Suarez fans out there, but I still feel like Suarez right now is overachieving, and I want to see. I got to see longer into the season. But, I mean, the ones around him, around Logano and behind him, I mean,
Ross is right creeping on him.
Yeah, but Ross, that team feels lost. I mean,
Logano's also about the same tier as his teammate Cindric this year, too. So, I mean, those two could be interchangeable.
I feel like Cindric's better this year, honestly. Like, since the 2 super speedway races he got taken out in, like, Cindric's been consistently ahead of the 22 most of the time.
I still think that in the long run,
his peaks aren't as high.
At the tracks we have left still, I could see them being interchangeable. Like, it's going to be close between Cindric and Logano if either one of them guys just, steps it up this summer, basically.
That 2 team, they worry me. I mean, 3 DNFs already. I mean, that maybe can go back to the mean a little bit compared to others, but it's not like he's setting the world on fire, because the one of those DNFs I don't think is counting when he ran like 35th at Darlington.
Yeah.
I had higher thoughts for them, but I mean, coming into this race, he was around the same spot in points he's been the last 4 years. I think it was Dale Jr. actually that tweeted out. He was like 13th, 9th, like 13th and 9th the last 4 years in the point standings this far in. And then he was like 15th coming into this race, but he should be better than this.
For what it's worth, as far as we are in the season, only 8 drivers have led over 100 laps this season, and Logano is one of them. So because of that, I know what he's capable of. I'm not going to hit the panic button on Logano to make the chase, because I know he can still do better.
And that's what I was going to say, is compared to those other guys on the bubble, like even an Austin Cindric, who I agree has been more consistent than Joey this year, Joey still has more peaks. Like Danny said, like Joey will still have races here and there where he goes out and leads 40 laps and runs top 5. Like, you don't really see Austin Cindric do that. You don't really see Ross Chastain do that these days. You don't really see Daniel Suarez do that. So because Joey still has those peaks, I'm convinced he'll probably still make the chase. But I just asked the chat. He's 17th in points right now, just below the cut line. 15 races to go. Long way to go. 67% of our chat thinks Joey Logano will not make the chase this year. That's bold. That's bold, but calling their shot.
I think he's got to get a win. I think he's got to get, and not like a, we stayed out on fuel mileage after running 24th all day.
Not a Nashville super fuel tank win.
Yeah, I mean, those would be nice points wise, but I think he needs a full race. Yeah. He needs a full race. Yeah, I mean, we'll take wins, but he needs to put a full race together where he gets like 10 to 15 stage points, wins the race, and is leading. Like, I want to see that. I think there's tracks that can do that on. It's probably though later in the season, if I had to think, probably in Iowa or Richmond, a New Hampshire. Like, it lines up pretty well going.
Michigan randomly working out for him.
I mean, point of pride there for sure for everybody, but especially them and Penske.
No, it is. I think there's a good point that there's some good or better tracks coming up later in the season. We've only had 2 short flat ovals so far, Martinsville and Phoenix. So, I mean, we still got more coming up, and that's Ben Penske's specialty.
He'll probably win the San Diego because he wins all the first time ever things. So
I wouldn't count him out.
I think, and we'll look over the cut line in a bit, but I just think anyone around that level, they just can't have the catastrophic race. They can't have what Christopher Bell had this week, basically.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Oh no, I think we lost it.
Had issues at Texas.
No.
I lagged out for a second. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you froze for a second. I'm like, oh no, we lost him.
Is this what it's like when I do that?
I know. Gosh. Sorry about that. What I was saying was one other driver I want to mention is Kyle Larson. He was my pick to win Texas. So color me shocked when he qualified outside the top 10, struggled in stage 1, got damage on pit road, struggled the rest of the day, then backed it into the fence midway through this race, finished outside the top. Kyle Larson, who leads like 100 laps every Texas race, wins a stage every Texas race, was out to lunch all day Sunday. Very surprised, disappointed in their performance. Let's get to these 2 incidents late in the race. Well, one was, let's go in chronological order, but instead let's go, I guess, in order of significance, because as it turns out, the Kyle Busch, John Hunter Nemechek run in on the final lap, or with 2 laps to go, has not carried over into the midweek penalty report like some expected or anticipated. But 2 laps to go. They're racing for 12th, 13th place. Kyle Busch and John Hunter get into each other going down the back straightaway. Busch said Nemechek was off the wall a couple feet. It looked like he was. Busch was also very aggressive at the exit of 2. The lap previously, he almost cleared himself off the nose of Keselowski. So 2 drivers squeezing each other, made contact. Busch then going into turn 3, car seemed to snap to the right, doored Nemechek into the wall. They finished 20th and 21st, respectively. After the race, Nemechek called Kyle Busch an ass, did his Brad Keselowski impression. Kyle Busch then brought out said SMT data to point out that, hey, I did not start this. Nemechek was not in his lane. He caused the initial contact, yada, yada, yada. There was more discussion, I felt, about the door slam in turn 3. NASCAR apparently looked at the SMT data and found that Kyle Busch was turning his car to the left when he shot to the right and wrecked the 42. So they decided not to penalize Busch, not to act further. Either way, gentlemen, Kyle Busch had one of his best races in a long, long time. And unfortunately, these run-ins on the final laps cost him potentially a top 10, at least a top 15 finish. He comes out of here 20th. Jarrett, your takeaway on the incident, but really Kyle Busch's weekend more broadly.
Okay. The incident itself, Nemechek was off the wall. I mean, you can see on Eric Jones' camera. He's probably an extra foot or 2 off. Kyle self-cleared himself. I mean, I know that, and I know that he was like, oh, you expect so-and-so to be at a certain point in the track. Well, Brad Keselowski was the lap before, and Kyle self-cleared himself and saved it that time. Yeah. I without the knowledge of the SMT data, because I think even Kyle's tweet about SMT came out like 10 minutes after or before one or the other, that I was off of being live on Sunday. I mean, the SMT don't lie. At least that's what we've been told. And if he had it all the way to the left and he still went up there, like, it's looked bad. I mean, it looked bad, but if that's the case and that's what they're going off of, then so be it. It is worth noting he also, that last lap was incredibly slower on the racetrack, so something probably was broken. The weekend overall, though, I'm just, nothing's going to change. That's what I got out of it, because even when they run well, Kyle is still yelling on the radio. He's still yelling at his crew chief, who is trying to actually calm him down this time, rather than get into a sparring match with him. The team is trying to calm him down. And it's like, at that point, Kyle's kind of the problem, and he's getting, it feels like he's getting kind of that kind of, I don't know, punk attitude's the right word, or like chip on his shoulder that he had early in his career, but he's not doing well enough to win. I mean, like, people were celebrating that he was running 10th. Kyle Busch is running 10th, and people are like, oh my God, it's like the best run we've had. And I think the crew chief even was like, We haven't run top 10 in like 3 years, man. Keep the car together. I don't know at this point, man. Like at this point, if I'm Richard Childress, I'm just Jesse Love, Austin Hill, whichever one of you wants to be in the 8. If Kyle wants to go somewhere before the end of the year, so be it. I'll put one of you in.
You're sticking with that prediction, that your bold prediction that he doesn't finish the year with
This shit
RCR. I don't know.
Is snowballing, and it's been snowballing, and it's not a snowball anymore. It's a friggin' avalanche.
Well, I would say the sun came out for a few minutes at Texas Motor Speedway because Kyle Busch,
storm.
He qualified 6th, and you're talking about celebrating running 10th. He actually ran 4th for a good chunk of this race, 4th, 5th, 6th. I mean, he looked very competitive, and I know Texas is a track position race, so if he'd been running 15th, he probably would have stayed in 15th most of the day. Like I get that, but to put it together on Saturday, to have a good start to the race on Sunday, and even with all the weird tire strategies, maybe barring that final restart, he was going to finish 9th. Like he was going to come out of there with a legitimate top 10. So I hope that's what they can latch on to this week. Push aside the Nemechek drama. Did he wreck him on purpose? Did he not? I mean, I'll say this. I listened to a lot of podcasts during the week. Kevin Harvick, Clint Boyer, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Denny Hamlin all thought he wrecked him on purpose. Said it as if it was a matter of fact.
Before the SMT stuff, I thought he did.
So if the SMT says he didn't, I guess he didn't, but it was sus. Put that aside, move on. Hopefully they can have a solid run at Watkins Glen, and then we go back to some normal tracks, the Charlottes, the Nashvilles, the Poconos. I hope this new crew chief can continue some of that speed they showed at Texas.
I don't think I recall much of a solid run for Kyle Busch at Watkins Glen since the period where it was him, Kozlowski, and Ambrose, who was the top 3 most every time we went there.
Well, that is true, but Busch had a good road course run at COTA last year, right? So maybe a top 10. I just hope they can build. I'm with you, Jarrett. The incident in the final 2 laps killed a lot of the buzz, a lot of the vibe, killed the vibe. It was good vibes for a few hours there. Then all of a sudden it was bad vibes. I'm with you, but I'm hoping they can hold on to some of that positive momentum.
I have 2 theories here. One is just Texas just gets to him. After all, this is the place where he didn't care about him and Ron Hornaday's day back in 2010. But 2, I don't know if he cares anymore at this point what happens, because I think in his mind he doesn't want to give them any reason to keep him in RCR equipment, whether it's this year like Jared's been saying or just after this year.
Well, yeah, he doesn't want to have less options. I think he wants to be a desirable free agent. I think he certainly would like to go to another more competitive team, but I don't think he's making himself more attractive by possibly door slamming a guy for 20th place on the last lap.
I still just say at this point, maybe he just needs to consider going to the truck series and riding it out till Brexton gets there.
He should ironically do what John Hunter Nemechek did, dip back down to the trucks for a year to rebuild his stock.
What is
the truck championship?
What is it with him and just bad blood with his old drivers too, man?
Yeah.
You notice that?
Yeah, a little bit.
The whole vibe this year, it's even off compared to years prior. I mean, going on about his hate list, and stuff like that. That would actually be kind of oh crap, we better watch out. If he ran where Denny Hamlin and Carson Hocevar
it's
ran.
The LeBron James meme where he's like,
pretty much. I mean, the only time they got to worry is when they're lapping him. And I'm not trying to say it to be just a jerk about it. It's the truth. I mean, yeah, they ran top 5 early, and then they were generally a top 10 team and car during the race. That's a good step. And he probably, honestly, he should have finished top 10 in this race. But it's just, the driver feels like a liability now, because I do agree. I don't know if it's not that he just fully doesn't care, but he just doesn't give an F. That's kind of where he's. I think
if he's not adding trophies, if he's not adding a trophy to that massive trophy case, I think he kind of checks out. I think it's kind of where he's at in his career. He's like, if I'm not winning, what am I doing?
And that's the point too, is where can they win? Talladega, Daytona, Atlanta,
Gateway. He's won the Richmond. When's Richmond? I don't know.
Late in the year, but that's Austin Dillon's playground, man.
I know, but come on.
Where the imitator becomes the intimidator.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see. I think we should move on. We got a lot more to get to, including the other key incident of the day that I think at the time a lot of folks were quick to kind of dismiss. But come Tuesday night, NASCAR said not so fast and slapped
worst thing we've ever seen in our life.
Ryan Preece has been hit with a 25 driver point penalty and a $50,000 fine for intentionally wrecking Ty Gibbs midway through Sunday's race. Again, a quick breakdown here. Early in the race, Ty made what appeared to be a kind of a late 3-wide move, put Preece and a couple others in awkward spots. Everyone had to check up. Preece lost a couple positions. He came over the radio, was pissed at Gibbs, did a little rant. In that rant, he did say, when I get back to that 54, I'm done with him. End of rant. He did say end of rant. That's a very Ryan Preece quote. A little later on, he caught Gibbs again. This was after a restart. They actually raced each other. I went back and watched. He raced Ty Gibbs for a couple laps, had a couple opportunities to punt the 54, didn't take them, had an opportunity to run Ty Gibbs up into the crap in turn 2, didn't take it. Instead, he waited until Ty Gibbs kind of cut him off entering turn 3, tried to shut his clean air off entering the corner. And then Preece says he said just didn't cut him a break and drove it in a little deep. Maybe made slight contact. I said this on my show today or yesterday. I'm still not 100% sure he made contact with Ty Gibbs. He may have just packed whatever air he could under the rear bumper of that 54. Either way, he got the 54 sideways, Gibbs into the wall. He DNF'd. NASCAR, because of the radio communication, was able to, I guess, confirm that he intentionally wrecked Ty Gibbs. They deemed it to be a premeditated act of aggression. So they slapped him with this big old penalty. I'll ask the chat what they think in a moment, but I'll turn to you first, Jarrett. Your reaction when NASCAR handed Preece a pretty substantial penalty.
I feel like I'm on the half of the internet that expected, like, if anyone, like, if I expected there not to be any penalties. If anything, maybe Busch, but still, especially after the SMT, maybe, you'd find out more. But basically, like, if they deemed he did it on purpose, I was expecting some sort of penalty because he said it, because he went on Sirius XM after the race and said stuff about it. I think that if they made contact and maybe they looked at the front bumper and saw like scuffs and stuff like that, I don't know how they determined it. It looked pretty close. I'm gonna be honest. Like, if it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it might be a duck on whether or not he actually wrecked him. I think it was too steep a points penalty. I think that 25 is way too much for something that, yes, it definitely seemed like intentional after what he said. But if it's very hard to discern whether or not he got into him, Gibbs made a late move as well in front of him. I could see maybe a 10-point or even a 15-point penalty. I feel like this isn't like he right hooked him. I mean, they made pretty square contact. I feel like 25 points is just too many points. I mean, that's the equivalent of a 12th place finish. Like, that's a lot of points that that could make a huge difference for the season. So that's kind of where I'm at. I don't honestly feel like there should have been that much penalty at all, especially after they found out about the Busch stuff too for either of them. But if there had to be one, it's too steep to me.
Sure. Danny, what was your reaction to that?
In regards to the Preece and Gibbs situation.
Yes. Like, did you think he deserved the penalty too steep? And real quick, I will say, I do think NASCAR has in their rule book that like the minimum penalty for intentional wrecks is 25 points or 50,000.
Yeah.
So maybe that's something that needs to be just amended to where it's a little bit wider of a scale. Cause I agree. I think 25 points, even if you think he deserved a penalty, 25 points seems like a lot when we barely touched him.
Yeah, I know, but I get it. There's a precedent and you kind of have to go, but at the same time, if there is a precedent for this, it's like, okay, how did Kyle Busch get away with this, but then Preece didn't? When it happened, two similar, borderline situations here, and one gets called for it, one doesn't. That's where things get more confusing. If they determine in their eyes, yes, that was intentional, then yeah, that's the precedent. So you got to do a precedent. But I think it's just the frustrating part is one looked more like it was something, one didn't, and then it was actually reversed of what got called and what didn't.
I think optically, yeah, a lot of fans are frustrated for that reason, for sure. Here's what I'll say is, yes, I think they're being fairly consistent in the sense that, yes, they handed Denny Hamlin the same penalty 4 years ago when he admitted he fenced Ross Chastain at Phoenix. The problem is I just don't think that's the right. I don't think that's a good precedent that they set. I didn't think it was a good precedent in 2022, and I don't think it's a good precedent today. I guess I just don't like how we're kind of rewarding drivers for playing dumb. Like Kyle Busch, after he doored John Hunter Nemechek, if you listen to his radio, the spotter keeps spotting, until the race is over. But then Kyle doesn't say a word. The crew chief, nobody comes over and says a word. Not even like man, tough day today. Like, we'll get him next week. Hey, how's your right? Nothing. Dead silence. Like, Ryan Preece shouldn't be punished for going on to Sirius XM the next day. And I don't think he said anything incriminating. He just said what I think we want racers to say. You mess with me, I'm going to hold firm, stand my ground, and whatever happens, happens. Like, I don't want to punish drivers for keeping it real, for keeping it 100, and for being outgoing and being entertaining, I guess, to some degree. That's the part I don't like. Because, like, here's the thing. We all know Bubba Wallace intentionally wrecked Carson Hocevar at Martinsville a few weeks ago. Like, we all know he did. He obviously drove in there, didn't lift, didn't make any attempt to stay off him, drove through him. No penalty because he didn't say something on the radio and he didn't say something in an interview. Like, it's just dumb. Like, if you're going to, the contact between Preece and Gibbs, again, if there was any, was so slight. They were racing aggressively for position. It's not like he waited on Gibbs or wrecked him the first chance he got. No, he raced him clean for a couple laps. He was giving him a chance to not race him aggressively, but the moment Ty Gibbs, in Preece's opinion, crossed that line, he stood firm. I just don't think the precedent they set in 2022 is the right one. I think if you're going to right rear hook somebody, if you're going to wait on someone and then junk them like Kenseth or like Jeff Gordon did to Boyer, if you're going to wreck someone under caution or on pit road, like when there's people standing around, if it's a clear safety violation or you're not racing for position when it happens, then yes, a penalty, often a severe penalty, I think fully justified. But the slightest of contact, I don't care if you said something over the radio. If you're battling for position and make slight contact, I don't think it should be a penalty. So I think the precedent they set in 2022 was bad, and I'm disappointed that they're still sticking to it in 2026.
I think they said it before then. I want to say it was Bubba, I think at Texas in 2018 had a similar issue, and he talked in the media, and that's pretty much like, that's kind of why it got called. And then his thing happened.
His was because he intentionally spun out to bring a caution out, I believe. It wasn't he wrecked somebody.
But it was that he said in the media basically like, yep, pretty much did it. Like,
yeah,
they've pretty much had this different. But my point is, like, they've had the precedent set that it's more what the driver, like how the driver incriminates themselves, unless it's something obvious like Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin, or like Bubba Wallace and Kyle Larson.
Austin Hill last year.
Yeah. I mean, it has to be blatantly obvious where NASCAR's like, we got to step in. But they pretty much have had this for a good 8 to 10 years now, where it's hey, if you just shut the hell up, we'll let you get off scot-free on this thing. Y'all decide it yourselves. The moment that it feels like it's more the moment you force it into our hands where it's obvious now you intentionally did it, or like at least we can infer that pretty well. That's where it's at. And I think I'm open to re-evaluating that, but it is the precedent that's been set. And it's one of the few times NASCAR's been consistent on a precedent. I'm not crazy about it, don't get me wrong, but I guess at least they're consistent. I don't know.
I guess, but at the end of the day, they're racing for position. If there was contact, it was as slight as it gets. Mm-hmm. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I asked the chat. They agree. 79% say no penalty. If I'm going to meet in the middle, I would side actually a little closer to your first argument, Jarrett, that if there's a way they could modify the rule book, if they had just hit him with a fine, if they just said, Preece, we're going to find you for, we don't want you just like going out there blatantly driving in over your head and doing something. If they just given him a fine, I'd be okay with it. I'd be like, I get it. Because you shouldn't say incriminating stuff over the radio. You should know better. I would understand it. But the 25 points on top of that, when again, I have yet to see any hard evidence that he made contact with Ty Gibbs, that seems excessive to me. I will die on that hill personally. Anyway, We can move on. Texas sellout crowd. Before we get into the ratings actually, before we talk about the sellout crowd, let's talk about the points report. I think we should go from points report, then talk about the crowd, talk about the ratings, because the crowd and the ratings, two very different stories, but they kind of go together. Here's the Chase grid points. I hate to use the word grid because it's not really a playoff grid anymore. That's old language. But here are the Chase standings. 11 races in, 15 races to go until the top 20, the top 16 will be cut off. Still a huge points lead for Reddick. Hamlin is second, Chase, Elliott third, Blaney fourth, Buescher fifth, Hocevar up to sixth. Anyone who stands out to you guys in this top 10? I know we kind of do this every week, but
fifth and sixth.
It's got to be Chris Buescher and Carson Hocevar. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's the only fifth and sixth. Man, I guess William Byron still being like as low as 10th. I mean, he's gaining, but still.
Chris Buescher has really done a good job this season.
Yeah, I'm impressed. I'm impressed by the 17 and the 77 both this year.
We're going to a track he could win at this weekend. He's beat SVG here before.
The track house is a little weaker now. I mean, it could be a closer race.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting battle. I think Keselowski still holding on to 9th. Like, this whole top 10 is all, JGR, Hendrick, Penske, and Alliance cars, except for Buescher 5th, Hocevar 6th, although I guess that's kind of a Hendrick Alliance at this point. Keselowski 9th. So I feel like those three are the ones that really jump out, and you're like, oh wow, they're doing better than expected.
So I mean, we talked about like the top 3 or 4 is where you really want to be, and there's a bit of a gap between 4th, 5th on down. There's a pretty damn big gap between 3rd to 5th on down though now.
Yeah, there is. No, I think Reddick, Hamlin, and Elliott have separated themselves.
I think Blaney belongs with that group, but I think those are your 4 to look at this point, and unless we can see somebody surge up, which I think we can from probably Byron, Larson, maybe Gibbs, maybe Bell. But like those are your 3 or 4 guys right now that I'm saying, like, Chase, time comes around, I'm picking one of those 4 to win it.
I would agree that if we still had the championship 4, those would be my 4.
Yeah. I mean, it might be those 4 in contention at Homestead.
Yeah. You can flip it to the next page because this is where things again get a little spicier. Just looking at the bubble, we're just going to fixate in on the bubble here. Daniel Suarez is 14th, Cindric 15th, Chase Briscoe barely hanging on to a Chase spot. He's 7 points ahead of Joey Logano for the final spot, not too far back to Chastain, SVG. Then it's AJ, Zane Smith, Eric Jones. Shout out Eric Jones real quick. Glossed over this. He won a stage on Sunday. Baby
First
steps
ever
for Legacy Motor Club. Yeah, first ever stage win for Eric Jones. So congrats to him. But gentlemen, here, I know we kind of ask this every week, but like, who's most likely to fall out or maybe most likely to go on a run and get in? I mean, we already asked the chat. They're not buying Joey Logano stock this season, apparently. The even year thing, I guess, is in one year, in one ear, out the other. But who stands out to you, Danny?
I mean, you got to wonder what SVG can do with these road courses. But honestly, I'm starting to lean towards him not making it. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. I just feel more confident about Logano over Cindric in the long term of this summer. I really do. Yeah, I think other than that, I wonder about Suarez, and I wonder if Ross Chastain eventually flips the switch this season.
Yeah, Chastain to me this past week, I mean, the speeding penalty is just a terrible mistake. You're running top 10. You have all these points at one of your best tracks. It's one of the times he's actually run where I expected him to run on the 1.5 miles, and he failed to capitalize on it. I think for Ross, he doesn't have to win, but he's got to get top 10, top 5 stage points in all 3 stages at the 600, get a good finish. I've been hammering for the last couple of weeks about SVG, though. I mean, he's got to win this race. He has to win this race. The points gap from first to second is too large for we got a good second place points day. He needs to leave here either single digits out or somehow in the chase, depending right now on how it's all going heading into the All-Star break. Like, if he's 15, 20 points out, he doesn't have much a gain on them. Something seriously wrong has happened.
I think if he only has half of the road course wins this year, that's not going to be enough for where the state of him and Trackhouse's Oval program really is.
Now, I will admit I made this before the penalty. So Preece is 38 up now. He was 63 up
Yeah,
So
that's a big hit.
yeah, it's gonna that
I
could
still
be.
feel okay about Preece. I really like really all of RFK this season. I have felt very confident week in and week out that they're doing fine.
I feel like the old quote that was used with Mark Martin back in 1990. Could go with Preece here. Like if you're gonna miss the chase, miss it by more than 25 points. Like don't miss it by less than 25 points, or you're gonna. I mean, that's on you.
Damn. Yeah. Great point. Well, I started to talk about this earlier. I got a little out of order in my notes here. But it was great, personally, as someone who grew up going to Texas Motor Speedway, to see a sellout crowd. Now, I obviously know it doesn't seat 140,000 like it did 20 years ago. I understand they've taken out some rows. They've closed off a few of the lower level seats in the corners. But you go to Texas, it is a huge track. Like the track's a mile and a half, but the grandstands go damn near from the middle of 1 and 2 all the way across the front stretch to damn near the middle of 3 and 4. They have a gajillion suites and boxes. It is an incredible facility, frankly, that they built it and that it's still standing 30 years later. So to see at least 80,000 people in those grandstands, plus whoever was in the campgrounds, to see a really strong Texas crowd did my heart good. Weather was great all weekend long. I thought the crowds were a little better than expected. I thought the racing, especially Friday and Saturday, was exciting. So that was awesome. Unfortunately, what was not awesome were the ratings, the TV ratings.
Yeah.
FS1 earned a 1.29 rating and only 2.8 million viewers for the Cup race. That is a 6% ratings decrease and 11% viewership decrease year over year. However, is roughly the same from this Texas race 2 years ago. It was down, I think, only 1%, but it is technically, I believe, the lowest rated spring Texas race in the track's 30-year history. Not the kind of headline you want to see. We'll talk about the O'Reilly and truck races in a moment, but O'Reilly continued its strong ratings, gained 1.11 million viewers, most watched spring O'Reilly Texas race in 8 years. Something about like 8 to 10 years ago. I feel like all the records go back to like 2016, 2018. I don't know why that is. Truck race had nearly 500,000 viewers. That was a 22% year over year increase. That might have been the Carson Hocevar effect after that Talladega win, because he put on a show. Kyle Busch as well. Caden Honeycutt. That was a fun three-way fight with Gio Ruggiero mixed in late. The poll, the famous iceberg poll, was how you guys voted. 10,000 votes on whether or not the Texas Cup race was a good race. 12% of voters said it was a great race. 62% agreed it was good. It was good. 22% said it was average. 4% thought it was a bad race. That's a 74% positivity rating on the famous iceberg poll. Jarrett, do you have a few comments picked out?
Yeah, and two, I mean, with this race, this was the second highest rated Texas race in the poll's history out of 11 races.
Wow.
The 2020 Texas summer race is number one at 77%. That was the 1-2, I believe, finish with Austin Dillon and Tyler Reddick.
That's number one? God,
I mean,
Texas has had some stinkers in the past few years.
Yeah, I think it's like one of the only tracks that's had more than like 3 races polled that's highest races under 80. So
Yikes.
It's 6th of 12 polled races this year. So it's kind of right in the middle. And 33rd of 62 polled mile-and-a-half races. It's tied with the 2022 race at Homestead.
Pure mid.
The battle of mid. The first comment, and I see him in the chat, is from Spencer. Positive, negative, or meme?
I'm going to go positive since Elliott won.
He's memeing somehow.
Man, Corey Heim did very well, leading a nice amount of laps. Was Heim time until it wasn't, but that DNF does not tell the whole story of how well he'll do on Sundays.
A positive meme, I think.
Mostly positive, yeah. Although it wasn't about Chase Elliott. It was, weirdly enough, about Corey Heim. Okay.
Yeah. Bailey had the top comment saying Fox's obsession with refusing to show anything but the gap between the cars this season is incredibly annoying. Yeah, they'll show you the manufacturer. They'll show you the speed in the moment. I want to see the intervals. I don't care how fast they're going. I know they're going fast. They're race cars.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's it. The only time I'm kind of interested in that briefly is at super speedways when I want to see how hard they're pushing, like for fuel and stuff. But otherwise, yeah, get that off my screen. That's a joke.
That's relevant. That's relevant to what you're watching.
Yeah.
Eric here has, not our Eric, says Kyle Busch runs top 10 all day to throw it away because of Rowdy's temper.
Yeah.
No. Allegedly.
Danny Alex says, Bowman Bros, we are so back.
You've never been more back.
Nobody knows is saying one more points race until we're put out of our misery, talking about Fox.
Yeah.
Richard says trucks and O'Reilly races were better. And then the gutter comment here is from Caleb, and it was one letter at a time with spaces all the way down. MICKEYMOUSE. I had to sing it.
Good job.
But that is the poll.
Bought into it. I like that. Good stuff. Thanks everyone for voting on the famous iceberg poll. And gentlemen, I think we've made it through our Cup Series race reaction breakdown. A lot of stuff happened at Texas. I think I saw a comment, or maybe it was a super chat earlier, that was like, wouldn't have expected Texas to have more tempers than like Bristol or Martinsville, but it did. It did. Had several incidents worth talking about. Let's get to the O'Reilly and Truck Series races briefly, because I do agree with that comment that they were probably the more entertaining overall races of the weekend. We'll start with O'Reilly. Kyle Larson gets the win, outdueled Justin Allgaier down the stretch, was able to take his line away, play some air games. Yes, you can play air games with the O'Reilly, with the perfect O'Reilly series car. Dirty air does still come into play from time to time, but some great racing between Larson, Allgaier, and 18-year-old Brent Cruz. At one point, they all but lost it. Remember that clip? I think it was 2012.
Was it Allgaier
2011.
Zilich, I think it was.
Oh, it was Zilich.
You're right. Zilich up there.
You're right.
And Allgaier was right with him too.
It's because Allgaier was in Zilich's paint scheme, so I'm getting really confused. But you're right. No, it was Zilich, Larson, Cruz. But it reminded me of that 2012 Texas race where Brad and Jimmy almost wiped out in the tri-oval. But this time it was three cars side by side, almost wiped out in the dog leg there. But that was exciting. Stage one took a while to get going. They couldn't get through turn two without wrecking. But yeah, Jarrett, your reaction to the O'Reilly Series race, anything that jumped out to you?
Oh, it's just, I think it's the second year minimum in a row that they had that same issue where they're like, can we just complete a lap? Damn it. But I mean, I had heard that, and it was kind of talked about, I think, in the NASCAR Discord a little bit, that the Cup tires had been like something about the compound had made the track a bit more like kind of greasy. And that's also why the O'Reilly cars were having so much of a struggle, because I think they had practice and qualifying right before the race. So once they kind of got the track rubbered in with the O'Reilly rubber, it started to kind of subside and get to a more normal race. But Brent Cruz, man, like, kid's legit. And we talk points and stuff a bit, but I mean, he's right there on the cut line. He's going to get a few wins probably this year, especially when there's less Cup guys in the field and it's just head to head with O'Reilly regs. He's for real. Yeah, no, he's legit. He has come in and it looks like he's been doing this a couple of years. Like, he doesn't look like an 18-year-old who's just getting his feet wet in this series for the first time. He looks confident and quick.
He's one of those guys, I'm sure top two favorites for this one is going to be SVG and Zilich this weekend. But doesn't Brent Cruz kind of have a road course background a little bit? Like, he could be a guy to watch out for this weekend to spoil their party.
Value. Great point.
It's a great point. Well, if we talk about the points real quick, I think, how many races in are they? Are they technically halfway? They're halfway through their regular season. The O'Reilly series is. You mentioned Brent Cruz is only 12 points out. He is 14th, only 12 points out of the chase. So he's going to get in at this rate. I think that's
he's gonna
very likely. It's still all Justin Allgaier up front. Sheldon Creed, Jesse Love, Corey Day. Corey Day bended on lap one, turned back the clock into early season Corey Day for a lap there, unfortunately. Brandon Jones, top
like
five.
That's going to be why I think he won't win a championship this year, because he needs to put together everything.
No, he's got to put together complete races every week, and he's not going to outdo Allgaier and some of the vets in that department. So I agree. But yeah, anything in points? I mean, I noticed Raja slipped down to 15th now in the point standings. He's still only 14 out of the chase. But
Yeah, it's basically the battle is 15th on up in points. But Raj's thing is, we love Jordan Anderson, but those cars aren't at a JRM level, and Raj is going to need as many JRM races as possible to get up there, get those points. But I had mentioned a few weeks ago about Parker Retzlaff. He actually has the same stat line this year as Eric Jones in top 5s and top 10s. 2 top 5s, 6 top 10s for Retzlaff and for Brandon Jones.
Yeah, I can't believe he's beating technically he's beating 3 JGR cars. Brent Cruz may end up passing all of them at this point, but right now he's beating, legitimately beating 2 JGR cars in the standings right now. I keep saying, like, if RCR promotes one of their guys a cup, get this guy in a better car. I think he can legitimately do it.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
And I'm looking at that cut line too, and all I'm thinking is Sam Mayer. He's got plenty of time to make it up, but those 3 DNFs are hitting really hard right now. And
he did gain 2 spots this week.
Yeah, I mean, he's in right now. Top 5. Brent Cruz on the way up there. For me, it's like kind of looking at the cut line being 11th, because I think Brent Cruz is going to blow right by, even Parker Retzlaff. Like, it's just, he's that good so far. In 4 less races, he is doing what all of the rest of these guys have done points wise. I don't know what to make of Mayer this year. I know he did good this week, but I need to see it consistently. I need to see him run like Sheldon Creed consistently.
Yeah, because we know it's, obviously it's been a change because it's no longer Stewart-Haas Racing. It's just the Haas team these days. We know there's nothing happening in Cup for them, but in the O'Reilly program, there is still something there. We see the speed from Sheldon Creed. Mayer has had some good runs this year, but we need just a little bit more out of Mayer. At this stage, as young as he still is, he is considered a veteran of this series at this point.
Yeah, I've been surprised by the disparity between Creed and Sam Mayer, because last year they were pretty close together, but this year Creed's getting the finishes, and at least until Texas, Mayer was not. Back to Raja real quick before we move on. I just asked the chat, will Raja Caruth make the chase? Remember, splitting time between JRM and JAR. 58% say yes. So I don't know who's going to fall out then. Is Sawalich going to fall off? Retzlaff going to fall off? I mean, it's going to be tough, but we're rooting for him. We're all friends of Raja. Raja's a friend of the show, I should say. So we're pulling for him to get it done. Let's talk trucks real quick before our first Super Chat stage break. I thought this was the most entertaining race of the weekend. The way Texas is, the way the trucks are, it's almost like a super speedway in a way. It's kind of like Atlanta, where guys draft up, get huge runs on the straightaway, and then especially going into turn 1, you kind of have to like make a quick move either to make a pass or to kind of shade and arrow block or cover your lane. Carson Hocevar was the master of that Friday night. He was controlling that race better than anyone when he got out front. Kyle Busch had a great truck, but got into the wall early and had to overcome that. He wound up finishing second, which was a really impressive recovery. But I was really enjoying the battle between Busch, Honeycutt, and Hocevar late in that race. What say y'all?
Don't forget Gio Rogero. He definitely tried to make that interesting there at the end too.
Yeah, he almost sniped it at the end. Good point.
Yeah, I was definitely entertained, I would say, the most by this. Just, it's the fact that the trucks are still very difficult aero-wise to drive. You have a lot of inexperienced guys up there, but I mean, a lot of them did hold their own with the regular guys, of the Cup Series coming down. I'm just Hocevar, man. He's gonna. I think he's gonna make it his thing, and I think he said until like what was it, like until something. He's gonna do this celebration. I don't know if it's like a championship or.
I wonder if they told him to do it with the helmet next time, because I did notice him come out with the helmet on this time.
That's true, maybe, yeah. He did say that it almost felt like winning this race caught him off guard. Like he was like, "Oh shoot, what do I do now? How do I top last week? I can't top last week. I mean, it's a truck win, And so he did say after the race, yeah. He did say afterwards that in the moment he was like, I'm gonna disappoint so many people because it's so fresh if I don't like get out of the car and do like a burnout from the windowsill. So he felt peer pressured into somewhat recreating his Talladega celebration.
May have accidentally put himself in a Carl Edwards backflip, Kyle Busch bow situation.
It is pretty. It looks cool. I mean, especially at night here with the smoke, even with the helmet on, I thought it looked pretty sick.
You know, a victory celebration I want to see return. Is it? I don't think he did it long, but didn't Kurt Busch used to do a lap in reverse after he won a race or something like that?
Yeah, he did that. Yeah,
because I remember I want to see someone bring that back because he did that very brief. He didn't do it forever.
Yeah, I'd be down with it, but yeah, I mean the comeback from Busch was definitely really old school Kyle Busch. What the hell is Jake Garcia doing, man?
Jake Garcia, remind me, what was the incident?
When he basically decided to do a Quinn Half and try and turn across the track.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he even kind of threw his spot under the bus and suggested that, hey, I thought like I could be cleared up. I don't want to misquote him because that might maybe have gotten that wrong, but it looked like, he just cut across 3 lanes and wadded up a couple more trucks than he needed to.
And four sport in general is just sad this season. You got Ben Rhodes and Majeski, and Ben Rhodes is
Rhodes has looked pretty good this year.
He's top 5 in points.
Yeah, Rhodes looked good.
But Cole Butcher has not done much for him this year. Jake Garcia, same thing.
I want to mention real quick, we are 7 races into the truck season. Only 2 races have been won by full-timers. It's like series regulars, full-timers. Chandler Smith at Daytona and Lane Riggs at St. Pete. The others have all been won by Busch, Hocevar, Heim, who's no longer full-time. Bell got that win at Bristol. So,
I mean, I still put Heim in the category of being a truck driver. It's the only series where he actually gets points. So,
yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, until he is hired to be a full-time driver next series up, like I'm just going to call him a truck driver for now.
But he's not full-timer though. But the thing too is the other one's been won by, like Kyle Busch and Carson Hocevar, and we kind of knew this was going to happen. When you add the amount of races Cup guys are going to be in, you're going to have more Cup guys winning.
Yeah,
I'm still cool with sticking with 5 personally, but I think it's 8 now. I want to say.
Yeah, I like 8. I think it's been okay, and I think also second half of the season, a lot of these drivers are going to front load them because they can't compete in the chase races. So I think it's it's maybe a little overbearing right now, but let's be honest, would that truck race have been? I think having Hocevar and Busch in that truck race made it more fun, personally.
It did.
And I wouldn't have said that 10 years ago, but here and now with Texas how it is, I will say that. So I don't know. Well, that's been fun, guys. That was our Texas breakdown. Always fun to be at my home track, especially now that I actually kind of live close to it. I grew up 4 hours away. It was still the closest track to me. Now I'm like 40 minutes away. It's a blast.
No longer we have to call it Texas with 2 S's at the end anymore. I feel like
no, it's okay now. It's competent. It is a competent race and racetrack now, more or less. Let's get to our first super chat stage break before we break into our second half of the show. We've still got more to get to, some other breaking news and more. First super chats all came from Bailey Riker before the show. Says Kyle Busch intentionally spun Herbst a month ago, but we're supposed to believe his car was broken when he spun Nemechek? Yeah, right. Hey, I think it's fair to be skeptical, but the SMT is the SMT. Goes on to say Busch has a history of wrecking people intentionally and throwing tantrums. I don't care that Busch didn't say a word. Busch doesn't get the benefit of the doubt to me. I agree. Most people agreed watching it in real time, but I guess the data disagreed. So it's hard to say now. Jeffrey King sent a few super chats. Howdy, Elliott, win number 2. Could he get 4 this year? What do y'all think? Let's go over under 3.5 wins for Chase Elliott this year. Jarrett, what do you think?
Over.
You think the over?
Yeah, I'd take the over too. I can think of 2 right now. Let me see the schedule real quick. I'm going to say possibly Nashville. And you know what? Just for the fun of it, he's won there before. I'll say Pocono.
I'll take the over too, because I agree that Hendrick's going to keep getting a little better. Then he says JGR will get jealous of 2311 and attack them too. Whoa. NASCAR Part 70, I guess. Then says Trackhouse will not win Watkins Glen. Ty Gibbs will. Ooh, calling his shot early, Jeffrey.
I still talk about Bristol. I don't know about that one.
A few here from Joshua Boston says, why is it that Preece gets fined but Busch isn't? The radio communication. That's as simple as that. Also says, as a 5 fan, it's aggravating to see the winless streak continue, most likely till the 600. If he doesn't win, it'll be a full 36 races since he won Spring Kansas last year. Would Charlotte be 36, or is it 36 if he doesn't win Charlotte?
This week.
This week is 36? Oh,
Yep.
Man. High stakes. It'd be cool if he does win the 600. I think that would be a nice, like, putting a period on the end of
It would
the
be
Memorial Day madness of the last few years.
it'd make a lot more sense to finally have a not slammed Coke 600 weekend and he puts it together and wins it.
Exactly.
You'd probably get a pretty big crowd pop out of that too.
Oh yeah.
I think so. Joshua says Prime Sports is superior. Fox, TNT, and NBC are inferior. Yeah, I mean, I agree. And finally, I think Watkins Glen being on the Fox portion is only for this year. It'll be moved back into the Chase next year and beyond. I hope so. I hope they can make that work somehow. I don't know how September in Watkins Glen, New York works out, but even August, I think later in the year probably is better. I've already seen images from like campsites this week of like muddy, it's cold. It's Mother's Day weekend. That makes it tough for some folks to travel and do. It's just, they had a good thing going late summer. I hate to see them kind of mess it up. Nick Foley says, what's up, y'all? Let's go 77. Thank you, Nick. Calypso says, ready for my grand return on Sunday. Yeah, the forecast right now, not looking great, which doesn't mean they won't race.
We can run in the rain on a road course.
We can run in some light rain, but it might be insane. Twin Spinner says, RIP Kyle Loftus. Yes, I'm not super familiar. I know he's from he started like the 1320 video, I guess, channel. I know was a kind of part of Cletus's early YouTube content start.
Definitely a big figure in terms of filming all kinds of different forms of motorsport.
Yeah. No, so definitely, that was sad news that I saw. I've seen a lot of folks in the racing
early, people to kind of like push, filming and doing some kind of racing, different kind of media over the web.
Yeah, no, for sure. Next up from Vamboni Sports, it's Zamboni and NWP night in America. Got to see my boy Chase win this weekend in person. It was awesome. Sadly, didn't see Eric. Oh, I am bummed. I didn't get to cross paths with the Zamboni guy. But dang, maybe next time. I'm glad you enjoyed the race, though.
He should have been driving a Zamboni at the racetrack, and then you could have, definitely found him.
I wouldn't have missed him. There's no chance. I'll do a few more here from Steven Rosario. Says he effing did it on my bachelor party with my brothers there for their first race. I cried like a baby. Go 9. My signed diecast is on its way. Hey, I'm glad you had fun, and I'm glad your guy won. That's fun.
Epic beard our man Steven has there in his profile picture too.
I know that's good. That's good. She's a lucky woman. From Crest John says, yeah, again, RIP Kyle Loftus, founder and owner of 1320 Video, and kickstarted Cletus's rise to fame. I watch their videos all the time as a kid. And I just saw a comment that Cletus has already posted, I think, a tribute video. So
I saw a post. I didn't know about the video yet.
Someone in the comment just said that he did. So definitely worth checking out, especially if you're part of that community or a big fan of those guys. Someone else in the comments said that Kyle gave Garrett the nickname Cletus. I don't know if that's true, but if true, that's obviously a huge legacy. Yeah. Let's reset. Give me 1 second. Here we are from Fred Dog. Didn't have Texas as more hot tempered than Bristol. Yeah, this was the comment I referred to earlier. Ryan says, I saw on Facebook that 2018 is the last time Elliott won the first 2 races for Hendrick. Danny pointed that out earlier. Last couple here. Justin Drake says, hang the banner. Golden Boy won a championship 6 years ago, and then Larson showed up. You know the rest of that story. Chase Elliott's gotten the better of him this year. Flame Hayes says Elliott could enter the chase with 4 wins. I think the 3 of us all agree that's very possible. And we'll wrap up here with Irvin Alvarado, putting aside the Met Gala as myself, a local, okay, New York City area. It's meh, but good for Carson taking the leap to do it. The Met Museum outside the gala is a must visit. The Egyptian section is the best section. We're going to get to Carson and his shocking celebrity appearance here in just a few minutes. But gentlemen, before we get to that, check your phones. Local weather reports are telling me that there are numerous lightning strikes in the area. One just hit the podcast. It's the lightning round. Jarrett, what do we got tonight?
It's legitimately actually been some really rough storms kind of south of us in Alabama today with a lot of lightning down there.
Yeah. Good luck, Talladega. We have the NWP channel, by the way, that we link. I believe we have even a link down in the description, and we'll have it connected after the streams as well. We're 25 subscribers away from hitting 1K on that, which I got to make sure we upload more on it.
Yeah,
I realized I go to upload and I go to get the clips, and I realized that stuff I do after the show on here and then like stuff moving around deletes the clips. And I don't have anything to do with it that they automatically have. I'm like, well, shit. Okay, I got to actually redo that now. But that is really cool. We got to figure something out when we do 1K. We'll get there. Though Tony Stewart said it'll probably run, or it sounds like he'll probably run another truck race this year. Depends on which one. I know everyone's circling IRP. I believe the NHRA is like full weekend across the country at that point. So I don't know about that one, but
maybe next year. And maybe Harvick will do it with him.
Yes, I mean, I think it sounded like Harvick wanted to race with him this year, so I'm cool with that. That doesn't count to me as Cup guys double dipping anymore. Voting for the Hall of Fame is Tuesday, May 19th. I figure we can give our picks.
Does it end on May 19th? Because I think it's open. It ends on May 19th.
I think it ends. Yeah, it ends. I figure we can give our picks next week for that.
Okay, remind me. I'll have to write those down.
Yeah, I'll make sure. McAnally Hilgeman is fielding the number 20 truck entry now with Toyota development drivers Tony Breitinger and Mason Massey, with a rumored return of Haley Deegan as well, but that's not been confirmed.
But aren't they a Chevy team? I thought they were a Chevy team.
I have no idea.
I'm not sure if it's a Toyota development deal at this point.
I don't know what they're doing. That was what was included with it.
Breitinger was in. She just raced a Rackley War truck.
She's all over the place, though. Yeah. I know. It's weird.
Yeah.
There's a possibility of the San Diego race maybe having to move depending on geopolitical stuff. If this happens, it seems like the two options for a backup would be the Daytona road course and the Roval. So maybe Roval fans get it after all, and maybe the Daytona road course. It's still far off. It's still on.
I will say, with news that come out today, and my full-time job is news, so I know about some of this stuff every day. I want to say, and this is all relevant, so I hate to bring all this crap up into it, but I want to say that Rubio or someone like that said yesterday that they believe everything in terms of all the initial operations is done in their eyes, and they're trying to wrap up and kind of end things over there. So I think it might be less likely that happens, but again, that stuff's just relevant to all this.
Don't disrupt my NASCAR. I already got my San Diego tickets. I ain't rescheduling. I don't want to have to change plans. The Airbnb is paid for.
Which, by the way, those asking in the chat, Daytona Road Course is like always the go-to for ISC if something is to happen. And the Roval is only talked about simply because if it's not in enough time for Daytona to get ready, the Roval is a pretty easy setup for them, and they have everything.
It's like across the street from Hendrick Motorsports, down the road from Roush. It's right there.
Wasn't it January or February? One of the two is when we found out about the Roval being changed. So like they have all of the stuff ready to go that they would need if needed. And I'm assuming with, possibilities, they'll have it just as an emergency plan. But for now, San Diego's still on. Ryan Blaney has re-signed with Team Penske.
I hope they gave him a lot of money because he's carried that team the past couple of years. He carried Ford.
He needs a good health plan because his back there's got to be some spine problems with how much he's been carrying them all to this point. How he carried his crew, which, by the way, now that they've changed the crew, they're actually really good. And it was Ryan Blaney who had the screw up this week.
That's true.
I think Blaney's crew since the change, and granted, it's been a short amount of time, is like top 10 in speed now for pit speed, which is dangerous for the rest.
They haven't been the story the past couple weeks, so that's a good sign. That means things are heading in the right direction.
And then last big thing for the lightning round storyline wise is the JGR Spire lawsuit setting up to be in court January 2027. So we get NASCAR coming to a head at the end of season 2, the same month as preseason Thunder coming back. Just let's make sure. I hope to God they're not the same week. I want to enjoy both. But Other than that, we'll be live next week on my channel, May 13th, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And I think
links to all of our channels are down in the description. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any upcoming episodes. Don't miss them live.
And I think I hear that. I think the lightning round is ending.
Lovely.
Yep,
lovely. I saw folks in the chat saying Road America to replace San Diego if needed.
I'd be down.
America 250, boys. Road America. Well, yes, headlines. We teased this earlier. I want to talk about this for just a moment because I still think it's absurd. I still think it's crazy that they got Carson Hocevar to wear a designer tuxedo and jet up to New York City to participate in the Met Gala, or participate is a strong word, to be present for, to mix and mingle, hobnob with the celebrity class and all
try
their
to meet Sabrina Carpenter and get the memes flowing.
Which I did see, and I think I saw a super chat about it, but I did see some comments like one of his friends he supposedly was there with, I think maybe made it sound like they did get to meet her. Like maybe it was literally just like a, hey, did Carson talk about this on stream?
He was trolling hard about it. Like they kept asking and he never would give an answer. He was like, yeah, there were people there. What else do you guys want me to talk about? There were plenty of celebrities there. It was really cool seeing this. And he has this like sly smile. I'm like, I'm pretty sure he met her. That, and people started asking about Shrek 2 because apparently she said that's her favorite movie. And he's like, I really like Shrek 2. It's a good movie. And he's like going on about that.
He is so clever, man. I don't know. He's such a little sneaky sneak.
He's been like, he's Bane to every other driver's Batman. It's like, you go on social media. I was born into it, molded by it. You only adopted Twitter and Twitch.
Very ironic that the last 2 weeks of NASCAR races have been won by the guys that should be first and second in the most popular driver award this year.
I would agree. Yeah. I would agree. No, I do think it's cool that NASCAR, I was trying to figure out, I was talking to my wife, I was talking to Amelia about this because she would know a little more about how the Met Gala works than I do, but I know it's an exclusive thing. You know, obviously it's very pompous and flamboyant and a little pretentious, obviously, but still, I'm like, you know, I saw the tweet or the report that this was the first NASCAR driver to attend since Jeff Gordon nearly 20 years ago. And to me, that's like,
what was it, like 02 or something like that?
Yeah, maybe it was.
I know
in the 2000s.
I know everyone was telling me every time I was happy about Hocevar being there, it's like Gordon only was there because he was on his wife's ticket. So it might have been 2010 is what Blue Jimmy's saying.
Okay, 20, yeah, so almost 20 years ago. Like I get the I don't know, criticism, if you will, that like, why does NASCAR care what a bunch of snobs in New York think? Why do we have to be in that circle? And it's like, we don't have to be, but when NASCAR was at its peak, those golden years we like to talk about, Jeff Gordon was there. Dale Jr. was doing things like this. Dale Earnhardt was driving a car down Broadway in Manhattan, like that, like NASCAR. It's important for people to care what's going on in NASCAR. This industry is
another network to talk about NASCAR, E Entertainment or whatever they are. You know, someone other than us goobers on YouTube talked about NASCAR.
Here's the thing: is like in my lifetime, I've been watching this sport for a little over 20 years now. I have only ever seen this sport shrink and contract. I've only seen the industry get smaller and jobs go away and people get paid less money. I'd like to see things change. And the way things change is by going a little more mainstream than we've been the past few years and getting a young, up-and-coming, exciting, talented driver like Carson Hocevar at these kinds of events, gets a new audience engaged, gets people talking, gets one of our brightest personalities out in front of cameras more so. I only see good coming from things like this. And I hope it's the first of more. And that's what I was saying. I was trying to figure out, how did he, like, is this something NASCAR had to push really hard for? Or did someone invite him? Yeah, like what was the connection? I did see he did a lot of things with E! News, so maybe they invited him on the, on the tail of his Talladega win. I was trying to figure out how this happened. Like, how organic was this this whole appearance?
This better get him the win on the driver incentive program because he's been putting in the work. But I one of the biggest storylines I've seen, whether it's social commentators, political commentators, whoever, all these people that I like watch or follow or I see, all of the talk has been about how far from reality all of these celebrities are. And to be completely fair, I completely agree. I can't stand pretty much 90% of these people. And then you got somebody like Carson Hocevar, like who, like I saw, like The Rock went viral because he like wore a skirt or something. And then there's Carson Hocevar, the normal kid who's just like, I'm just happy to be here. This is really cool. Like I just saw this, and this. You know what? I would rather the NASCAR driver come in and be the normal guy at the party, and everyone be like, "Oh, that's so sweet. His mom is happy he's here. He's shouted out his mom at her favorite like celebrity event." Like, I would much rather that, because that's why NASCAR drivers were so personable and relatable for so long. Is like, you look at especially what you look at, like the Earnhardts. Dale Earnhardt and Dale Jr., they were normal dudes who were doing superstar things. Everyone's like, yeah, that's me. Like, exactly. I always remember that clip of Dale Jr. where he's like going to this huge giant meet and greet thing. He's got like thousands of people there. And he's like, well, Bud Light or Budweiser. Well, if I just want one or two after a long day of Budweiser, if I want to drink 12 and party all night, Bud Light. And everyone goes freaking nuts. And that's the NASCAR crowd. And then he can turn around and be on like MTV Music Awards, or like having dinner in Monaco with Beyonce and Jay-Z. Like that. But he's a normal dude. And that's the appeal of NASCAR drivers. So I have no problem with NASCAR drivers going anywhere and doing anything that's really fun like that. It's like Blaney. I mean, he used to be on like his IMDb is much longer than I thought it was. Yeah. Like when you look back. So yeah, I mean, the Hocevar, Carson went from an IKEA earlier this week signing, at a place that every college student goes when they're moving into a dorm, to the Met Gala, and then was going to race a dirt track the next night. That is how NASCAR drivers used to be all the time. And I feel like we've so separated from that.
Chili's at any random time.
Yeah. We're so separated from that so many new fans can't fathom it. And like, we all remember it being that way.
We all, the three of us, remember like kind of the tail end of that run. And it's fun to see it kind of come back. And yeah, to your point, like Hocevar is like, I even compare it to, like, I feel like we see this with Cletus fans. Like Cletus McFarland is the everyman who's turned this racing awesome empire, done amazing, great things. I think a lot of his fans viewed NASCAR as sort of this pretentious bigwig motorsport series. But here's their guy, Squirrel, Cletus. They're breaking into NASCAR and they're just along for the ride. They're like, look, that's our guy trying to make it big. That's how I felt watching Carson Hocevar in New York City. Like, that's our guy. He's been on this show. He's just a kid. He just loves racing. And here he is in the same room with Sabrina Carpenter. Whether they met or not, I guess we may never know. But
and the critique of like, NASCAR sent him or Spire, but like, I don't care. Like we all know that going in. Like, if Jeff Gordon wasn't in on his wife's ticket, like if Jeff Gordon went, he probably spent like $30,000 to $100,000 to go in. We all know that. Like that's the part I don't get about this. Is it feels like there's plenty of things to critique in NASCAR, and there's plenty of things that need to be improved. Like, why can't we just take the W when it is served to us on a silver platter and is a cool deal? It has no effect on anything else before or after that night that we can visibly see in this moment. I don't think a bunch of wine moms are going to be tuning in to Watkins Glen this week on Mother's Day because Carson Hocevar was on. It's a cool deal as like one of the many building blocks to build up a superstar that we're trying to build up. I don't understand where the issue is here.
I agree. My only critique is because the Met Gala is all about wild fashion. I do wish, I know you said, hey, he's just a normal guy there. I get that. I kind of wish he'd just worn his Talladega fire suit, like soaked in champagne and all. He just shows up in the Western Chili's wear with a cowboy hat on. That would have made a statement. I think he would have blended in.
Don't get me wrong. Everything outside of Carson Hocevar looked like the capital of the Hunger Games to me. I was just like, we're so far from reality.
All I remember about the Met Gala, when I think Met Gala, I think back to like 10 years ago when Lady Gaga wore like raw steak dress to the Met Gala. That's all I remember that's all I knew. That's what I can relate with the Met Gala to.
That was the Met Gala?
I think so. I hope so, or else that was even weirder. It was even weirder than I thought.
Was that like real meat? Like that
oh gosh,
stunk.
This was at least 10 years ago. Someone let us know. I think she wore actual raw meat on her body to the Met Gala. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm sure it was a commentary on something, but
everything's a commentary with those people.
So Carson should have worn his Chili's fire suit. That's all I'm saying. That's my only critique. My only critique.
Did you see the? Did you
He
see
should
the?
have been handing out triple dippers to everyone at the Met Gala. Like,
Yes.
Here you go. Here you go.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Did you see the edits of? They put Sabrina Carpenter in like her own Chili's fire suit to match. Like people that was going all over Twitter too.
Someone
Wait, that
said it
was
was
20 years ago.
Someone said it was the MTV Awards. Oh, never mind. So she was really crazy doing that at not the Met Gala. I thought it was the
That's
Met
the
Gala.
I
It would have blended
I-
in better at the Met Gala.
I am so far removed from celebrity culture. Like
Really,
if,
I am too.
if hosts of our left and that place got hit by a meteor, I would have found out 3 days later. Like
Jeez.
I wouldn't have known.
I like, but you're like, but if Hocevar was there, I would have found out immediately.
Yeah, he's the normal guy there. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
it's like when you watch a comedy
geez.
show and you got the comedic characters and there's like the one straight dude that's, you know, the normal dude. Like that's Hocevar in this deal. He's the normal dude with the three
He's
Stooges.
He's playing the straight man at the Met Gala, but on Sundays he is the wild one.
Our
funny.
weird looks normal compared to Hollywood.
Yeah. Well, let's have some fun, gentlemen. I've had fun. This has been a great show. I've really
That whole
enjoyed this.
segment
We're
was
blowing-
kind of fun right there anyways, honestly.
It was a great precursor to our first actual fun segment, our prediction / accountability segment. Every week we each make 2 NASCAR racing or show related predictions. We keep track and hold each other accountable. And we try to keep our predictions concise, contained within a few years. So first up, who's on the board? Hey, I went 1 for 2. I said Spire would get 2 top 10s at Texas. Hell yeah, 6th and 7th. I also said the Texas race would finish under in overtime. I was close. 4 laps. It was 4-lap sprint. I'll take it. 1 for 2. That's not bad. Jarrett went 1 for 1. Said that Texas would outscore Kansas on the iceberg poll, and I guess it did. Must have been pretty close.
74-62.
Oh, not
On
nearly
net
as close as I
positivity.
thought. Wow. I think that's all about expectations there.
Yeah.
And then Danny, nothing came off the board this week, but he's got predictions cooking in the oven over the next several weeks. So for the season, I'm leading the way, 61% correct. Jarrett at 52, Danny at 31. But all time, I believe Jarrett still holds a slim lead, 4% lead over myself. And then Danny B, that's since 2024. Guys, let's add to the prediction pile. Do I go first? I always forget. I'm the host, so it's kind of weird, I guess, for me to go first.
Yeah.
I
All
think
right.
this is the weird one where we do like whoever's doing best goes first versus everything else is usually like reversed.
Exactly. It's the opposite. So I don't know if y'all have seen, you definitely have seen Watkins Glen this weekend, a slightly different configuration, if you will. They've added tire barriers and tire packs to the outsides of turns 1 and turns 5, an attempt to try to encourage track limits, I'd say. Turn 1, it's like individual tire, like bundles. My prediction is that NASCAR will have to repair or replace one of those tire barriers this weekend. At least one.
We talked about Brent Cruz earlier. I'm going to make one on him by June. So after Nashville, Brent Cruz will be top 7 in O'Reilly points. So
yeah, you could probably do that. Yeah.
at the moment, I just want to make sure I get this right. So at the moment, 7th is Austin Hill, and he is 84 ahead of Brent Cruz. I think Brent Cruz in the next, 4 races, I think he can make that up. I think he's going to get a win in there.
That's not a layup. I'll get that. I think he'll get there at some point, but that's quick. That's a bold prediction.
Austin Hill and Carson Kvapil are tied, by the way, for 7th too. So
Okay. So
I think
one of them
he gets
could
past.
slip.
Yeah, I think he gets past Retzlaff pretty easy. The other 2, I'm banking on him getting hot.
Okay. All right. Danny, what about you?
SVG will lead the most laps in all 3 races this weekend.
Ooh, okay. All right. That leads into my next prediction. This is kind of a spoiler for our actual race picks a little later on in the show, perhaps, kind of. It's a teaser, maybe. So SVG, to Danny's point, is running all 3 races, Trucks O'Reilly Cup. So is Connor Zilic, triple duty. I'm looking at this as like a series, like a best of 3. I predict Connor Zilic will win this weekend's best of 3 matchup against SVG. As in, like, he will finish ahead of SVG more than SVG will finish ahead of Connor Zilic.
I thought you were saying like he's winning twice this weekend.
Well, he might. That yes, maybe. I'd make that prediction too if I was allowed to make a third one.
Because I mean, I'm considering SVG likely to, if he ain't win, he's 2nd. So
Which one do I want? Nah, that one seems like a layup. Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson's winless streak will go over 40 races.
Ooh.
Because I think there's some pretty good tracks for him lined up pretty soon here.
Yeah.
I mean, we got, after this, we got 600. We got Nashville, which should be pretty good for him. Michigan, I would assume, is probably going to be pretty good for him. So I don't think he wins those. I'll go 40. I thought doing 50, but I'm like, that feels like,
No,
I don't feel like this is a
very
layup.
bold.
A 50 is like a full court shot.
Yeah. No, your predictions are pretty bold. I'll give you those. Like that, you're taking some gambles. I respect that.
Mm-hmm. Something about Brad Keselowski returning to a blue and gold beer car this weekend.
Yes.
Will just reignite his understanding of road course, especially Watkins Glen. Brad Keselowski will get a top 10 this weekend driving that Modelo car.
I love that. That's funny.
That was a good way to put it.
It was full on. Was it 2012? What year was the Ambrose? I forgot. What year was it?
2012.
2011 or 2012. I think he was good in both of those years.
Yeah. I like it. Those are good. Great predictions. Tune in next week and every other week. We will continue to hold each other accountable for these bold predictions. But now it's time for you all to get involved, chat. More or less. It's time for Random Driver of the Week.
Bye, chat.
Jarrett gives us clues. Chat, you can chime in. But Danny and I will be pitted against each other in a death battle of obscure NASCAR knowledge. Jarrett, lead us in.
Yes. So in the last 5, Danny has the advantage. He has got 3 of the last 5 with David Rudiman, Dave Marcus, and Nelson Piquet Jr. Eric has David Starr, and I got y'all on Buddy Arrington.
That was a tough one.
Made up driver.
So Danny leads, I believe, 40-39 all time. We just keep track all time on this one. I'm ahead of any guest, 8-7. So at least we'll know I'll keep that one. Let's get into it. This random driver hails from Idaho.
Idaho? I don't know any drivers from
Idaho,
man.
We all Idaho?
We must be Idaho. This random driver is also the first driver from Idaho to start in the Daytona 500.
Shit, might be the only driver from Idaho.
I want to see this. Chat already got it.
What? Chat got it? Oh my God.
Yeah, chat already got it. Something about them Boise boys.
He's from Boise. That's a hint.
That is a hint.
The only city in Idaho.
I've been to Sandpoint, Idaho. It's a nice town.
This random driver, his father owns multiple resorts in Idaho.
They got resorts up there? Oh, I
There's
guess
mountains.
Yeah, does Yellowstone touch Idaho, or am I way off base with my geography?
I think it gets close. I don't think it quite gets to Idaho yet.
Okay, well, I'm sure there's some beautiful scenery up there.
Either way, it's cold as the Rockies, just like a course. This random driver married his wife in one of those Idaho lodges.
There's too many Idaho hints.
Before you added anything else, I thought he married his wife. Like, well, okay, yes, he married his wife. I married my wife.
Attaboy. We all married our wives.
I've never thought this much about Idaho in my life.
I just be like, hey, Riz, you want to take a trip to Idaho?
See, now I'm trying to think of like drivers who had like a resort sponsorship, but none are coming to my mind that would be that.
This random driver began racing at 12 years old. Maybe or maybe not in Idaho. I just realized something.
It's gonna be more of a modern guy because you didn't see. First of all, I don't think you saw random guys from Idaho start racing like way back a long time ago.
I just realized something. You remember when Twitter did that poll of their favorite podcast? Idaho was the state we got most popular in.
Woo, Idaho! I love Idaho. Idaho, you're the best.
This is to you, Idaho.
Shout out,
honestly,
Idaho.
It's a nice state, honestly. This random driver made 2 starts in 3 attempts at the Daytona 500.
Okay.
2
somewhere
starts,
but 3 attempts.
3 attempts.
Yes. Mm-hmm. This random driver made 53 total Cup starts.
53, you said?
53, 5-3.
Alrighty, okay. The gears are trying to turn. They're trying.
This random driver has one career top 10 in the NASCAR Cup Series. It was a second place finish at Talladega.
Okay. All right.
Who randomly did go to Dega one time?
Wait,
Well,
say what, they finished second, you said?
Second at Talladega.
Oh, man. Okay.
And that was in the Cup, you said?
In the Cup Series, yes. It's their one top 10. It's his one top 10 in Cup. This random driver made 210 O'Reilly Series starts, though.
Cool. Okay.
Scoring 21 top 5s and 79 top 10s. No wins, though.
Thanks. So they were borderline good in that series.
You said no wins in O'Reilly?
No wins.
Okay, but they were in the mix.
This random driver made 62 total truck starts, though. So made starts, decent amount of starts in each series, not tons in Trucker Cup.
Any truck wins?
2, in fact. One at Dover, one at Phoenix, which is south of Idaho.
Are they in the same time zone?
They might. I mean, depends on what part of the year.
Oh, yeah. Arizona's weird.
Okay. Brian Eichler.
Brian Eichler.
Okay.
That was
Wrong.
a shot in the dark.
Respect.
Yeah, wow.
I don't know why. Just about the 2 truck wins. I can't remember how many he had.
This random driver had a rivalry with Nelson Piquet Jr.
Oh,
Man,
man.
I put him in that same time period.
Danny knows. He knew Nelson Piquet better than I did. This might be an L for the host this week, boys.
Piquet actually once kicked this random driver in the groin.
What?
Do you need a location? Would that help of where that happened?
It was it in Idaho? Did he go to his?
No.
Did he go to his like house and knock on his
No.
door and?
No, he went to the lodge on his honeymoon.
He went
no, it was
said, "Hey,
it was Richmond.
Your time's up in the hot tub. It's our turn. I don't know why I just gave Nelson Piquet a Yellowstone accent, but that's okay.
Oh, what is this show tonight? This random driver ran these numbers.
Okay, maybe this might help me. Jesus.
09, 01, 2, 3, 8, 10, 11, 15, 16, 18, 25, 32, 33, 44, 75.
Man.
What the heck is this?
This random driver drove Chevys, Fords, Dodges, and Toyotas. So it kind of gives you the time frame at least of when.
Okay.
in there.
My formative years of being a NASCAR fan, probably. Was he in NASCAR Thunder 2004? That is very important to know.
No.
Shoot.
This random driver finished 16th in his lone snowball derby start, running a car for Kyle Busch.
Is that where the 18 came from on this numbers list, I wonder?
Pretty sure. I admit I looked up the numbers like a month ago, so I don't remember where each one came.
That's okay. That's okay.
This random driver stopped racing in 2017. So like the year before the show started.
How many more clues do you have left?
2.
Oh, man. Jeez, I really have no clue.
This random driver has 60,000 X followers.
They're kind of
Okay.
popular.
For a truck and O'Reilly series main.
And last one, none of us have tweeted about this random driver.
Shoosh, man, I don't know. Reed Sorensen. I don't know.
Reed Sorensen. Haven't we done Reed before?
You know, there's no
We
40,
have. I think I got him right.
there's no 41 on here. What was I thinking? I'm just throwing numbers out there.
Reed ain't from Idaho.
I don't know anyone from Idaho. I know who's not from Idaho, so I guess okay. Let's see. It's not Richard Petty. It's not Dale Earnhardt. Hang on. I'm trying to think.
Is it Brian Scott?
Brian Scott.
Correct.
Oh,
Yep.
where the hell
You
that come
had
from?
the first name right, and that's why I'm like Brian Eichler. I'm hearing this
I
right.
couldn't remember who won in that 16 truck back in the day. I remember Dover, but I thought it was Eichler
Wow.
for some reason.
Good memory, good pull on that.
But then I
one,
started thinking about the year he quit racing, and I saw the 44. I was like, oh wait, people did the 44 ever meme back then.
Yeah, they got it on the first
Oh.
one. I
The
just love
chat got that quickly. Wow. Good job, chat.
I'm kind of surprised none of us have ever said anything about Brian Scott. I mean, he, for what it was worth, he was a notable driver for a little bit.
I
He's
just
a
think
staple of the O'Reilly series for a good bit there. Yeah.
I think it's just he stopped racing before we all really got doing this kind of stuff.
Okay,
So-
and now I do remember him in a 2 for RCR. Did he drive the 3? I'm kind of confused by that.
I was looking, I was like, there's a lot of RCR numbers on this list. So I glossed over that too. quickly.
believe if I remember right, he came back for like 2 races in 2017.
Oh,
And he drove
okay.
the 3. I love the references people are having to old ones like the dressing.
Paul Newman, baby. Newman zone.
You're never gonna forget that damn dressing now after that segment.
Nope. I was at the grocery the other day and I was like, we don't even need salad dressing, but let's see what Newman's cooking up these days. Let's see what they got. Any new recipes, new specialties on the shelf. Good job, Danny.
Not
Starting
for
to pull
him,
away.
he's dead.
Well,
Yeah.
he has a
I need to
legacy.
pull away. I need to pull away because I have a race to 50 prediction on the line.
Oh, shoot. I got to lock in next week. All right. Time for everyone to lock in. Now, chat, you actually are getting involved because it's time to make our weekend picks. And chat, this is where you all need to come together to agree unanimously on who you're going to pick for all 3 races this weekend. Before we get into it, though, here are some weekend notes and details. Again, there are new track limits via tire barriers at Watkins Glen. Some notable drivers. Balicki is in the 66 Cup Series car. Catherine Legg's in the 78. In the O'Reilly Series, we got Zilich in the 1, SVG in the 9, Chastain's in the Jordan Anderson 32.
I just realized how bad I botched
Yeah,
the
you
spelling.
that.
It was Gazi Bergen.
Shane Van Bergen in the number 9.
Yeah, he's actually cousins with Austin Condrick.
Chastain in the 32, Raja's in the 88. In the truck series, Brent Cruz, I think Danny mentioned this earlier. Oh no, he was talking about the O'Reilly race, but he's also in the truck race. He's in the number 1 for Tricon. Adam Andretti's in the number 5. SVG's in the Nice number 4. Allmendinger's in the 25 for Ram. Chastain's in the 45 for Nice. I forgot Ross, I should say, is pulling triple duty as well. Destiny Spurlock is in the number 69 MBM truck. She is the first Black woman to race in one of NASCAR's top 3 national series. He's had a couple solid ARCA runs.
Be Tia Norfleet.
Connor Zilich is running the 71 Spire truck, and Hocevar is in the 7. Did y'all get all that? Did you keep all that straight in your mind? Maybe go to like Bob's Twitter or J-Ski, pull up the entry list in case you forgot for when we get to predictions, just so you remember who's driving what. Here's the race info. Truck race this is not really the name. Is this actually the name of the truck series race?
The Bully Hill Vineyards.
The Bully Hill, not Austin Hill, the big bully, but Bully Hill Vineyards, 176 at the Glen. It's a 72-lap race. Stages are 20, 20, and 32. It begins. Does it begin? Is it Friday or Saturday?
Friday.
It's a Friday race at 4:30 Eastern on FS1.
Friday.
Corey Heim.
All of these races get that at the Glen tapped onto it.
It just sounds very. It sounds nice. It sounds pleasant.
Hell of a good sour cream dips
At the Glen. The Cheez-It 355 at the Glen.
The Glen.
All right. Heim is the defending winner. But now for the O'Reilly race, it's the Mission 200 at the Glen. 82 laps, 20, 20, and 42 are the stage breakdowns. That's a 4 p.m. Eastern time start on Saturday on the CW and MRN. Connor Zilich, the defending winner. Hopefully he's a little safer getting out of his car this time if he goes back to victory lane. Having bad flashbacks to last summer. Cup race is the Go Bowling at the Glen. 100 laps. They've added some laps this year. So 100 lap race, 20, 30, and 50 are the stage links. 3 p.m. Eastern start on FS1, MRN, Sirius XM, SVG, the defending race winner. All right. Danny is wrangling Shugs, our resident show mascot. Shugs is here to make all of the predictions for Watkins Glen.
Is Shugs giving us the weather report this week?
Yeah, that's what's up next. I don't know if Danny has the weather report on him because I know Saturday, Sunday looks a little sketch.
I can get the weather report.
Shugs is being escorted off of the stream now. Chat, Shugs is being carefully handled off camera. We take great pride in Shugs' safety and health.
I'm slinging him around the room over here.
It's a streamer thing to do, to throw your cat.
Let's not fall into that stereotype, gentlemen. We've been so well behaved for so long. I would hate for it to all come crashing down. Okay, Danny, weather report. What do we got?
From meteorologist Jeff Borick, he says this truly sounds like a lazy forecast, but an unsettled pattern across much of the Great Lakes region will bring waves of light to moderate rain at times throughout the entire race weekend. For what it's worth, Friday will be the day with the most pesky light showers and those opportunities for a few clouds, drizzle, and even fog. Better upper level support coupled with a surface low pressure to be centered over Ontario this weekend will bring more persistent rainfall in waves on Saturday and Sunday. Yeah. Unfortunately, a secondary surface low forming in the southeast U.S., stretching northward to the southern mid-Atlantic by early Monday, will combine with the cold front from the aforementioned Ontario low and pull moisture. This will bring a shield of rainfall into the southern tier of New York as soon as Sunday evening. The timing is still fairly murky as we are a few days out, but it certainly looks like some semblance of the cold and damp weather that Watkins Glen is prone to in May will pan out. Temperatures are anticipated to at least remain above freezing on the ground, so no winter weather concerns for the race weekend at this point. However, he says he won't rule out a few wet snowflakes mixing in for anyone hanging out through Monday. Watching further updates on this forecast will help make things more clear in terms of specific timing as we get closer. However, we are generally at the mercy of race control of how things can go due to wet weather tires and how that is not quite as black and white as running on the big ovals.
You know, I had a chance to go to this race. Just some things fell through about it. I'm kind of glad that happened. Spend Mother's Day with my wife for her first Mother's Day, and
probably a good call.
Be here in the 60s, 70 degrees in Tennessee. Even if it's raining, it's still going to be warm and not Watkins Glen weather.
Yeah, I had a cold front kind of play in a factor of my fishing tournament last weekend, and it really kind of disturbed things how I thought they were going to go, and was on a end of the lake I wasn't too familiar with. But thankfully, in 2 weeks when I return back to this lake, it's looking like much warmer conditions, and be back in an area of the lake I'm more familiar of.
Nice.
Going to be a different race at Watkins Glen. The pick points look a bit different. Chat, you have pulled ahead by a slim 1 point margin over Danny B.
I'm still not supposed to be here. I don't know what this feels like being at this point in the year like this.
And I have successfully tanked in time for the road courses. I am 9 points out, still within striking distance. That means I get first pick. I get the pick of the litter in all 3 races.
Chad gets the worst pick in all of these, though. That's unfortunate.
Good news for y'all. I mean, especially the Truck and O'Reilly fields, I feel like are pretty well stacked. Trucks especially. There are a few good options in that race. So, it's not being up in the lead is not that great of a disadvantage, but I'm about to get a hell of a draft. I have a feeling. I'll kick things off with the Truck Series win pick. I am going with Connor Zilic in the Spire 71.
Has he ever won a truck race? I can't remember.
I'm not sure that he has. He blew his debut at Coda, I remember.
Has him or SVG ever won a truck race?
I'm not sure SVG's run a truck race. Has he run a truck race?
I hope he wins one because I'm picking him.
All right. Danny, you're next.
Okay, yes, he has won a truck race before. Jarrett's going with SVG, and I'm going to go with Lane Riggs.
I think chat was thinking about Lane Riggs, but I think their other pick is the one who I believe is being driven by Brent Cruz. Is that where they're leaning? I think so.
Looks like it.
Yep, I think they're going with Brent Cruz. Solid picks. That's what I'm saying. I think Brent's not a bad pick at all for the Truck Series race. Now it's time for the O'Reilly Series Saturday. My prediction earlier in the show was that Zilich would get the better of SVG at least 2 out of 3 times this weekend. I feel like Sunday is going to be a Shane Van Gisbergen stronghold, but I think Friday and Saturday will go to the kid. Give me Connor to win yet again at Watkins Glen in an O'Reilly car. He's done it already twice, I think.
All right. Give me SVG.
I'm okay.
Chat, I like your thinking for last race, but not in a truck series. I do want Brent Cruz for the O'Reilly series race, actually.
Is Lane Riggs running the O'Reilly race? Because I want us to just pick the same 4 people.
That would be awesome.
And they were definitely going Brent Cruz before I took him.
Oh, man. Sorry, chat. All right, you got to pivot, chat. Need an alternate. Who's your backup?
Hey, I said I was picking SVG in the truck race, right? Like they're saying that we skipped my pick. No, I picked SVG.
No, you picked SVG.
You just went quick because it kind of goes without saying.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Oh man, they're going.
I guess it's Allgaier. I think 7 a lot.
I definitely think they're leaning Allgaier, which I mean, when in doubt, sure, go with Justin in the O'Reilly series. All right, give him Allgaier. Time for the Cup Series. We always start with our who's gonna suck pick for the Cup Series race at in this case at Watkins Glen. I know, the blue and white and gold Modelo car looks great, but Brad at road courses has been average at best. Coda was a little bit of a pleasant surprise. I still think he ran 20th, so I'm going to go Brad this week.
I need to pull it up because it just went off on my end, but I went on driver averages. So look, the last 3 races at Watkins Glen when I was doing these, and this guy, he ranks 35th out of 49 drivers with a 25.7 average finish at the Glen in his last 3. I am going Kyle Larson.
Oh,
Chase Elliott's tied with him, by the way.
And I'm going Kyle Busch.
Dang, chat's going Fox. Although if not Fox, it looks like they're also going Brad.
Can we be a little more original the rest of the year? Like what give you Fox on like the Dover race just to end it out on a sour note.
By the way, Barbara Brandon saying Tyler Reddick, we're not picking Win right now. This is suck. You just picked the guy who won Coda to suck here.
Yeah. So who's the driver that they picked outside of Fox?
I think they went maybe Brad. Now they're starting to throw some
Brad. I've seen more 6 than anything. I've seen a lot of 11 too, but
yeah, some Denny in there. But now, dark horse pick though. Dark horse picks at Watkins Glen. This is where I am going to say Kyle Busch. I'm going to believe that, hey, they're decent on road courses. I'm going to buy that there's some positive momentum after the speed they showed at Texas. I think he's due for a top 10. I'll give Kyle Busch for a top 10. I mean,
this guy's been pretty decent actually at Watkins Glen. I'm going to go Noah Gragson. Top 10, maybe.
Until I see any more like solid evidence that they are capable of giving him a car good enough to come close to the win, I can only put Zilich in as an underdog right now. So I will say underdog for this one. I do not have him winning this weekend.
All right. And the chat is pretty unanimously going Michael McDowell, which is a very good pick. He has been very good at Watkins Glen the last few seasons. And he's been in kind of a slump lately. We've talked a lot about his teammates, Hocevar, even Daniel Suarez. We haven't spent much time talking Michael McDowell. So this is I think he was top 5 at Coda. He needs a top 5 this weekend.
He's 23rd in the points now.
Yes, he needs a good race. He definitely does. I wouldn't be surprised if someone takes him to win. It's time for our Cup Series win picks. I am kicking things off. I've kind of spoiled my picks at this point. I'm going Connor, and then on Sunday, I'll go Shane. I know there's a lot that can go wrong, but especially if they're racing in the rain. Remember what he did to the field at Chicago that first year? I don't know, man. I think I got to go SVG. What about you, Jarrett?
I was thoroughly impressed by Connor Zilich at Coda, and he would have won that race, in my opinion, if he didn't get spun twice. He was the fastest one out there. He was faster than SVG almost all race. I'll take Connor. I'll go off on that limb. I will finish what the chat started with their pick at Watkins Glen with Zilich last year.
Man, I just hope he qualifies good because he qualified like 25th at Coda, and that put him behind to start. Danny, how about you? Who are you going with?
I'm going to get my number 2 pick, Tyler Reddick.
Good pick. Good pick. Chat. Ooh, I'm seeing a lot of 17s.
I think they're going Busher.
I saw a lot of 45 too, but I took that one off the board. But
yeah,
they should take him because my number 3 was Chris Buescher.
I think they're going Busher. There's a few mixed. There's some bells. There's a good number of bells. A couple hosts of ours, but I think it's pretty solidly Chris Buescher.
I had Buescher down in case Jarrett shocked me and took Reddick instead.
Chris Buescher. Good pick. Good pick.
Danny's going to be really popular with our Cup pick being a Toyota driver on Twitter. That's for sure.
Yes, Danny best pick. Danny knows wheel.
So real quick, so truck, Eric has Zilich, I have SVG, Danny has Riggs, and Chat has Cruz. Then for O'Reilly, Eric has Zilich, I have SVG, Danny has Cruz, Allgaier for the Chat, and Cup, SVG for Eric, Zilich for me, and Reddick for Danny, Buescher for the Chat. So I just want to make sure everybody knows as we're heading out, and I got the right ones. But it's going to be a fun weekend, I think.
You did. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting race week, and that Truck Series field Friday afternoon is stacked. All right, folks. Well, appreciate you all tuning in tonight. Before we wrap things up, we do have our final Super Chat stage break. Going to get to all the Super Chats we missed, but I do want to say a huge thank you to everyone for hanging out with us tonight. This was a fun show, one of my favorites of the year, I feel like. We covered a lot of ground, had some fun. Next week, if you want to have some more fun with us, tune in Wednesday, May 13th, 8 p.m. Eastern time on the Iceberg. Again, that link, his channel is in the description. So is Danny's. So is mine. If you're here and you're somehow not subscribed, hit that little red or whatever color subscribe button is down there so you don't miss any future videos or podcast episodes. But let's wrap things up. Our final Super Chat stage break. We left off with Below the Apron. Says, bet Joey is missing the old format. He's in survivor mode from here on out. No lucky fuel mileage win to lock him in like he did at Nashville a few years ago. Yeah, that is facts. No one race is going to save your season. You got to string together some good finishes. Justin Drake says, watching the replay of Logano running into Custer to the beat of Hollaback Girl.
He tagged me with that one. It is actually pretty funny. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, I didn't know that was an actual edit that somebody made. That's funny.
I think he made it.
Oh, shout out Justin, the video meme editor extraordinaire. Bailey Reichert says Joey hasn't won a race in 367 days, a whole year. Yeah, we talked about Larson's winless streak. Logano's on a very similar one right now, eerily similar. Ryan Idiot says Logano is that Wolverine meme with the playoffs, like just like crying over the picture frame. Brett says, we've already had 3 races with a combo of Elliott Hamlin finishing 1-2. How cool would it be to see those two top 2 in points with 5 races left in the chase? No, they're good now, but rivalry renewed. Yeah, it could get I feel like their fan bases are going to get spicier than the drivers would, but it would be cool to see 2 heavyweights go at it late in the year. Jeffrey King says Logano makes the chase by 1 point and then wins 5 out of 10 races.
I kind of said that earlier.
Hey, respect. If you can get that many, that's impressive.
Sam I Am says, did you see the Keselowski scheme that looks like Rusty Wallace's scheme? Yeah, it does a little. Yeah, I liked it. It looks super clean and nostalgic at the same time.
The old school one with the white front.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Intimidator Racing Inc. says, what do y'all think RFK will do once they lose their 3rd charter? Will Brad retire? Will they let Preece go, buy someone else's charter? I mean, I think it's all hands on deck to try and get a 3rd charter somehow, some way, even if there's someone they have to rent it from for a year. Brad has said he might want to race for another 7 or 8 seasons. So I think Brad retiring is like, break glass in case of emergency. I don't know. I'd hate to see Preece go because I think he's having a really solid season. I think they all are, but I do think Preece is kind of the awkward 3rd wheel right now. But and I asked Preece about this weekend, and I mean, he made it the point, like they still got almost 10 months to figure it out. They got until February to get something squared away. So hopefully they do, because I think that team right now has a really solid 3-team lineup. Derek, thanks for the super chat, says Daniel Suarez with another finish, with another good finish, with him being 30 points up on the cut line. Is this Suarez's best season so far? I think so far, probably. He doesn't have a win, but top 10s, top 15s, quality points position. And considering the expectations coming in, I think we all thought this was maybe a lateral move. He's proven that it's an upgrade, at least thus far. Dodge, thank you. Dodge says, is Penske's struggles, Penske's struggles be them going to Dodge and RFK becoming the main Ford team? I would be surprised if Penske left Ford at this point anytime soon. I guess never say never. I mean, Blaney's not really struggling. It's the other two that are just a little more inconsistent. We'll see. I think Penske's staying with Ford for the long haul. Justin Drake says he gets us, and Ryan Preece was doing the God's work. Harsh. Then says Jeffrey King. Jeffrey King says, I really feel Toyota peaked too early, and they know it. I'm not sure how much of it is Toyota peaking versus, as we've talked about, Chevy struggling out the gates, trying to understand this new body, and Ford, just being inconsistent up and down. Like, I don't know. I think Toyota may keep getting better as well. The question will be just, can Chevy get better faster? And can like Ryan Blaney stay at the top of his game? That's the real question. Jonah's stuff. Did you hear? This is what we talked about earlier. Did you hear that host of ours friend who went to the Met Gala with him commented on Sabrina's post saying it was great meeting her? Has he got that bag? Sounds like host of ours playing his cards close to the vest for the time being. That sneaky son of a gun. Couple more from Jeffrey King here. Says Preece saying that on the radio is why not the crash. Oh yeah, is why he got penalized. No, I agree. If he doesn't say anything on the radio, there's no penalty. Yeah. I just think it's silly that's all it takes. Hell yeah, highlights of Dale Sr., but minus 25 points for Preece. I mean, yeah, it is kind of like Jared, I think, said earlier, the optics aren't great. From Justin again, Grandpa, I got wrecked. What an ass, Joe Gibbs. You cut him off and you messed around and found out. You had it coming. Strong comment from Justin, of course. Sam I Am says 2027 season, a lot of drivers with 1-year contracts. I mean, yeah, I think a lot of contracts in this sport now are short term. So year to year, there has the potential to be a lot of turnover. Jeffrey King says, as an Elliott and Allgaier fan, Larson has broken my heart a lot. I'm sure still flashbacks. Was it Indy last year when Larson got into Allgaier late in that race? Wasn't it the two of them that got together? Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Right. A few from Indy Carson here real quick. Says, hey, NWP, NASCAR, Texas, trucks. Love my name is included. Carson wins again. O'Reilly, Larson, Allgaier were exciting. Wish Justin pulled it off for his first win at Texas. Then says, Cup, I guess Elliott was chased most of this race, the final stage to win this race. Best drama was Gibbs versus Preece and Busch versus Nemechek. What? Huh? Logano crashing into Custer on pit road? Yeah, that was my reaction. I was like, how a jump scare. Then says, Eric, how was your time at NASCAR at Texas? Yeah, I had a great time. It was beautiful weather. Friday was going to be iffy. It turned out to be just nice, cool, a little overcast, great racing, great fans. It was one of my favorite Texas weekends in quite some time. Justin Drake again says, another career low light for Jake Garcia. Wrecked Tony Stewart at Daytona, Quinn half the field at Texas. Yes. A couple more from Indy Carson. What do you guys think of Steve O'Donnell and Ben Kennedy leading NASCAR? Best thing they can do is switch Watkins Glen to August and Richmond to May. I think Watkins Glen later in the year, hopefully that is a change they make next year. Then he says, biggest thing I have to share tonight was my last week of midweek ministries at my church. For now, it's bittersweet, but I know how much I made a difference in elementary kids' lives, but I'll miss them. That does sound bittersweet. I was going to say that's great for you, Indy Carson. Hopefully they get another opportunity to do even more in the future, because that sounds really cool, man. All right. My thing just reset on me, so let me scroll up. JPG, I believe, is next. Yes, I'm tired of Kevin Harvick's word of the week. I thought he'd stop doing them, and then I've noticed them the last few races, so maybe I just wasn't noticing them and they never stopped. I don't know. That's the least of my concerns with the Fox booth. Flying Cactus just says, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Right back at you. I like how he's got is that Logano and Brad? What is that picture? Oh my gosh.
It's them, and then I think it's the Dente Mobile underneath. So I think it's like host of ours coming up behind him. That's a good profile. Is that Brad or is that? I can't tell because it's blurry on my end. Is it Chase?
I thought it might have been like old Logano and Brad, but yeah, you're right. It's too small.
Yeah, that's Chase. Or is it Larson? It says I see Hendrick Cars back in the fire suit.
Beast of Metal Beast of Metal 1989 says a week late, but I just want to point out clear bias by Stephen A against anything not LeBron in football. Well, yes, yeah, that's what pays his bills. In 2023, he said a Stanley Cup by the New York Rangers wouldn't count as a win for the city because hockey isn't a major sport. Yeah, wow. If he actually said that, that's harsh. Hockey fans come at him harsher than racing fans have.
I think my favorite clip of the Stephen A stuff recently is the where he clearly admits, I don't watch it. Well, no duh, we knew that. And then immediately follows up with, I only went to Michael Jordan's team because he and Hamilton. Who is Hamilton?
Do you see Denny leaning into it? I think his social team posted like a Denny Hamilton edit.
I did. Yeah.
Rough. Crest John says Kyle did give Cletus his name and was his boss at 1320. Also helped many others start their careers. Cletus gave his condolences in his video. Yeah, for sure. We're definitely worth checking out that video as soon as we're done here. Where are we at? Justin Drake says Nemechek wrecking while in traffic. Everyone expecting a caution like what happened at Kansas. NASCAR. IDGAF. Golden Boy is leading. No caution. Well, we'll go on to Fred Dog 81 says RIP Alex Zanardi. Yeah, we haven't talked about that tonight, but another racing legend that unfortunately passed away in the last few days. Fred Dog says no matter what auto sport you watch, he was an inspiring figure that any driver could look up to in terms of pure courage. Well said, Fred Dog 81. Jeffrey King says Stephen A. Face when Logano wrecked in the pits. Calypso says, I hear host of ours next visit is the locker of Davy Jones. Perhaps he can be a visitor of Jarrett when he inevitably gets dragged there. Jeez. Eric says, Eric, I'm agreed with you about everything about Carson. Why wouldn't drivers do it? If I'm a driver as him, I can do the same as him. That's what's the best for. I think talking about the Met Gala. Yeah. Having drivers that embrace those opportunities to go get themselves out there in front of another audience. For sure. Carson, the kind of guy who's going to say yes to an awful lot.
I will give, like Blaney, I believe, said it with Dale Jr., where he's like, it was a lot easier when I was a bachelor and now married with a kid. It's a little more difficult. Like, I totally can feel that, man. Like, there were so many things that I could do before getting married and having a kid, where now it's like, nah, I just can't go to that. Or like, I need way more heads up rather than hey, you down to do this? Let's just like drive 50 miles down south and pick up a couch. Before I'd be like, hell yeah, let's do it. Now it's like,
did someone say couch? Yeah.
I'm not going to say the joke I was thinking.
Oh, okay. Justin says prediction, one of the Kyles does something stupid. We'll see. Yeah, okay. It could happen. It's happened before. Justin, thanks for the super chat. Brian gets his taters from Idaho, traced his heritage all the way back and found he was part, I don't know, the Navajo. He goes on yearly vacations to Lake Tahoe. just trying to like beatbox rhyme with Idaho.
Whoever threw that, your mom's an Idaho.
From Robbie Racer says, sorry, Danny, but if you're Jeff Gordon and Rick Hendrick, who gets the 48, Hocevar or Zilich? Ignore contracts. Well, shoot,
how can I ignore contracts when both of those two have rides?
If we're just living in a fantasy world.
Okay, if both were just free agents, yeah, you'd be a fool not put Hocevar in that car. So, but Hocevar is locked into 77. So your question is mute.
Danny does not want to live in this fantasy world of yours, Robbie, and I understand where he's coming from.
Rowdy 8 Diecast, I'm staying out of your fantasy land, Robbie.
Rowdy 8 Diecast met him this weekend. Yes, says my first TMS experience was fun. Super underrated track. It was great talking to you, Eric. I also met Danny at Dover last year, so only the bird left. I'm glad to hear someone say Texas was underrated, because a few years ago, it felt like it was dying a slow, painful death. Facility felt outdated. There was no energy. This weekend, I felt like everything was up and running as it should be. The crowd was buzzing throughout the weekend. I was excited. I was excited to see Texas have some renewed excitement. Bailey Reichert says Alex Bowman missed a month of the season, has already passed Ware and Custer in points, and is on the verge of passing Ty Dillon and Noah Gragson. Ugh, I do think conversations, unfortunately, will need to be had about Noah Gragson at some point, and maybe Front Row Motorsports more broadly, but Noah in particular, this has just not been a smooth transition since
Noah
getting
has
there.
Fell out of relevancy ever since he left JRM, unfortunately.
Well, they started getting a little something at Stuart Haas for a bit there, and then the team shut down.
Yeah, no, he actually had a pretty good season at Stuart Haas their final year. And then he brought the same crew chief, right, to Front Row. So I thought, oh, plug and play. They should not miss it too. They should be okay. And then he's been the worst.
Thinking of Gregson, I don't remember who posted this video. I seen it recently. It was someone asking all the drivers, like, what's your favorite meme right now? And then Gregson said, I don't do memes no more.
Yeah, they're Ence's favorite meme on Instagram. And he's like, yeah, I don't do that anymore. That was
I was like, oh my
God.
God. That was so boy.
Oof.
What's your
funny.
favorite Disney movie? Oh, Little Mermaid.
That Alcorn guy, he is that Alcorn guy, says this is my first attended Texas race and walked away quite pleased. Hey, Texas needs to take these super chats and like put them in their testimonials tab on their website. Pretty cool midway, plenty of options for concessions compared to my usual trips at Bristol and Dega. Also, Preece got robbed. Damn it, I forgot. Didn't Texas, they had some like wild concession item. Oh gosh, what was it? It was something insane. It was like a burrito inside a fried tortilla inside a chocolate shake. I don't remember. It was something absurd. I wish I had tried that.
It reminds me of
Texas. Yeah.
It reminds me of the big one meatball that I had at Talladega that was like ground beef covered in ground chicken, covered in like ground turkey, covered in another ball of ground beef. Oh man, my guts didn't love it.
It's like a fried turducken or something. I don't know.
It's a stone in the stomach.
Okay, maybe was it this, Eric? I just looked up insane Texas Motor Speedway concession items. It says featured crazy concessions for 2026. The glazed donut burger, a wild sweet meets savory stack featuring Texas toast layered of crispy bacon, sugary glazed donuts, and a trio of melted American cheddar and pepper jack cheeses.
That was it. I wish I tried that.
I forgot
about it.
They also had a PB&J burger, pecan pie filled churros, and spicy mango ice chill, which is like an Italian ice.
We now go to
Andy's custard. So
we now go to Wilford Brimley for his reaction. Diabetes. Thank you, Wilford.
Flame Hayes says, do Shane's odds shrink if qualifying is set by the metric? If the qualifying is set by the metric, he probably starts like, I don't know, 18th or so. So yeah, he's probably going to qualify better than 18th. So I'm sure he hopes qualifying happens. Calypso says, ready to pull some shenanigans for Logano this summer. Oh God.
It's coming.
Ryan says, what drivers do you consider to be a one-hit wonder type of driver? So
Trevor Bayne.
Yeah, because like Trevor Bayne's an obvious one. Like I don't know why David Rudiman just popped into my mind. Did he get more than one win? I think he just had more than one.
No, he had 600 2, right? And then Chicagoland. Yeah.
Okay, that's a one-hit wonder. Vickers, one-hit wonder. No, how many wins did Vickers have?
He won Michigan and Talladega.
He also had 2. Damn it, I'm shortchanging these guys. What? Casey Mears, that's a one-hit wonder.
Yeah,
unless he wins a race this year.
He wins a rained-out Daytona 500 next year and his last start at 500 start.
Yeah. Someone said Justin Haley, Cale Gale. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Where are we at here? G-Man Bowman with 2 straight top 3 finishes could have been a good pick for underdog at the Glen. Yeah, if he stays clean, he could get another top 5. Underrated at road courses. I hope he keeps the solid races up.
He is underrated at road courses.
Especially Coda. I do know that. I don't know what his Watkins Glen numbers look like by comparison. It says from Palm Tree here, my uncle won tickets to the Xfinity race. He went as his first race. I told him to go up by the fence for a flyby from the pack. His video he sent me was priceless. Hopefully a new fan. I'm telling you, Texas Motor Speedway PR needs to be screenshotting these. This is great stuff. This is the best PR that track has had in years.
It's like that scene in Ted, man. We're giving you the product. Now, like, just make the commercial.
I'm glad your uncle enjoyed his experience, Palm Tree. Hunter Nixon fishing. I've always thought Steve O'Donnell was way overhated. I truly think he cares about the sport and the longevity of it. I mean, I agree too. Doesn't mean we have to always agree with every decision he or really any of NASCAR's past leaders have made. I do genuinely believe O'Donnell and most of NASCAR's leaders care about the sport. I do think it's, in one way, it's good having a non-France family member in that position, because now, like, say Steve O'Donnell didn't care about the sport. I'm sure he cares about keeping his nice job. So he wants to do a good job just to keep his job. And doing a good job would probably mean growing the sport and bringing more revenue in and more fans and stuff. So yeah, I genuinely do think, though, O'Donnell cares about the sport. I hope it goes well. I hope the sport is going the right direction here sooner rather than later. Jeffrey King with a couple back-to-back says, does Allgaier win again this year and how many? Yes, he is going to win again. The question is how many. I could see at least 2 or 3 more wins, maybe 4. What's he at now? 3?
3 so far.
Yeah. He's at 3, was close to 4 at Texas.
Like
He's probably
he
gonna
always
get
feels like a guy that can easily win like 6 races a year.
I feel like that's a reasonable guess. And then Jeffrey says Prime glitched Fox's cameras. Yeah, but he's talking about like as they took the checkered, it like went white for a moment. That was weird. Philip says a cumulative fun for your new Texas Rangers cap. Oh gosh, stupid Preece penalty. Texas is awesome. There it is again. I'm not doing this. I'm not sending these. Go Blaney, hoping for a rainy weekend this week would definitely makes the racing interesting. I'm not getting a Texas Rangers cap. My wife has a couple though. So they're in our house. They're in our household. They're just not on my head and never will be. No matter how bad the Astros season goes.
I like how she, despises the college called Texas, but then her go-to baseball team is called Texas.
It is confusing. It is very confusing. Good thing their colors are radically different, or else you would have a hard time. Red Dog, for this Mother's Day, who is on your Mount Rushmore of NASCAR mothers? Give me Linda Petty with her gun. The rest can stay the hell off the mountain. What a comment. Oh gosh, I don't know.
I mean, you got Harrison Burton's mom is definitely up there.
Oh,
yes. She's got to be up there for sure.
The only driver's mom I've really ever just chatted with for a while was Ross Chastain's mom. Met her randomly in the basement of Bristol Motor Speedway's media center, and me and Claudia just talked to her for a long time. First time we ever met her, and she was nice as could be.
Yeah, Kim Burton has to be on. I mean, did they have the Kim Cam for how long?
Yeah, for a while. And when Brexton gets a little older, there's going to be a Samantha Busch cam.
It's going to be the Sam Cam.
Yep.
She is going to love being NASCAR mom rather than NASCAR wife.
Yeah.
God, I'm trying to. They really don't have. I mean, they don't really have many moms.
I met Connor Zilich's parents. His mom, as we know, was like a college, like Olympic level gymnast back in the day, which is pretty sick. She was very nice. The brief conversation I had with her earlier this season, I think.
Delana Harvick would, I guess, when Keelan comes up.
When Keelan comes up, yeah. I saw someone mentioned Ty Gibbs's mom. I mean, Heather Gibbs is literally like helping run the show at Joe Gibbs Racing now, which is pretty badass.
Step up a lot of way ever since passing of her husband.
I got one. Lisa France Kennedy.
Yeah.
I mean, her son's probably going to be running the sport in 5 to 10 years.
He's one of the fastest rising executives in pro sports.
I love that. Yeah. I love that, he did drive for a little bit and he did win a race in the truck series.
You remember when he got into a spat with Ben Rhodes at Martinsville, I think it was? Like they got they got into it in the garage. Like I think it was either in a truck race or truck practice.
I'll have to go back and find that. That's a fun pull, especially for when he does start running the sport one day. And if Ben Rhodes is still driving.
He's the first one to get a penalty under the Ben Kennedy regime.
All right, we got a few more here. From Nate, I'm becoming a hospital chaplain. There's like a period. Okay. It's hard and master stuff is no joke, but your videos help a lot. I've been a fan for a while since 2018. Glad you're enjoying the videos. Glad you're enjoying the podcast, enjoying the show. Appreciate the comment, Nate. From Ross Crashtain, while making the driver's chase is unfortunately unlikely, can Alex get the 48 into the owner's chase this year? I'm looking
right now. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Because the 48, it didn't do very well without him. So I can't. They're 29th in owner's points.
It was really showing how bad the car was overall.
They're 29th in owner's points. I'm trying to do the math. It's less than 100 points, though. I think it's like 80.
It's not impossible.
Am I doing the math wrong? It's less than 100 points.
I can check. Let's see.
It's possible. It is possible.
Let's see. Who all does it need to pass that we think this car can be better than? 35, 38, 34, 47, 71.
It's gonna be tough, but more doable, obviously.
I think he could get it at least up there to about where the 97 and 16 are.
Yeah.
From Jonah, Godspeed to the ARCA field if they end up racing in the wet on Friday. Oh my gosh. Take a lunch break. Do whatever you have to do to get in front of a TV if that happens.
Do they have wet weather tires in ARCA? I don't follow ARCA as closely. I mean,
they run Hoosiers, right? Or no, what do they run in ARCA?
General Tire.
General Tire.
General
That's
Tire.
I'm sorry. Generic tire. No,
they should just run them anyway. It won't look any different. Somebody's gonna
Just
go
run
after me on
slicks.
that one. Yeah, it won't look any different.
Yeah.
We'll test those tire barriers.
Flame Hayes, Eric, I haven't been to Texas since 2015. Has the experience there changed since? Not a ton. I mean, I don't know. It's probably not quite as busy as it was in 2015. I don't know. The crowd's probably a similar size. I don't know if the Midway's changed all that much, but the infield, I mean, they've got a Hutchins barbecue in the garage area now. So if you get into the garage, get yourself a Texas Twinkie. That's what I tell everyone.
They do, by the way. They do run wets.
Oh, heck yeah. Then get to a TV, folks, if that
do
happens.
it, man.
Must be. Yep.
Oh, that's going to be great.
Derek, thanks for the 5. Kind of random, but Austin Green has been disappointing this season. I feel like he has had a DNF in every race. Maybe it changes this weekend. He is a good road racer. I've not kept up with Austin Green's season that closely. Has it been that bad?
There ain't nothing to keep up with.
I mean, what car is he even in? The 87 or something like that?
87 most weeks, maybe every week. Yeah,
every week.
What team is that even? I don't even know.
Is this still Jordan Anderson? I mean, the font is the same. It looks.
I don't even know. You know, we should know that. And in fact, I'm not moving on until I figure that out. The 87 is listed as a Peterson Racing Group
Peterson
entry. That's right. Okay.
I mean, I don't know what you can be disappointed in because, I mean, no offense, what are you expecting out of that?
We're going
No
into
offense,
it.
but you should just give up.
Oh, no, no.
We haven't used that soundbite. All right, we're in the home stretch here. Let's bang these out. Justin says hashtag remember the Alamo. PBR Smasher says, hey guys, you think McDowell's getting a comparable car at Spire at this point in the season? Seems like he's been regressing.
I don't think it's that far off, honestly.
I mean, it's hard to put 3 good cars on the track every week. Maybe he's getting the short end sometimes. Maybe they're just missing it. I don't know.
He did have some good runs at the start of the season, but I mean, I think after, you can only do so much to keep up with your teammates,
Almost won Daytona, top 5 at Coda, so hopefully they bounce back here this weekend. Jeffrey says from Texas, been twice in 17 fall, 21 All-Star. We'll hope you get to make it back out there, Jeffrey. It's on the up and up a little bit. Justin Drake says Stephen A. fixing to learn how a goalie's stick feels slashing his leg. Oh man, Justin,
what the hell, Justin? Chill, brother, chill.
It's not that serious, bro.
Cody says, big fan of the show. Eric Hamlin has won the last 2 Vegas races. I'm not a fan of him. Even got mailed a sticker. Do I bother attending the fall race?
Every race is different.
You can only keep going for so long until something changes. So
I feel like Denny's not the guy these days to like dominate a single track. He's kind of just good everywhere. Like for a while, it was like Denny at Martinsville, Denny at Darlington, Denny in the Daytona 500 kind of felt inevitable. Now I feel like Denny's just kind of good everywhere. So he's going to win some and he's certainly going to lose some. So I don't know. I like your odds of him not winning a 3rd in a row, although he probably will be the favorite going in.
Probably Chase.
And then finally, perfect from Wyatt here, Texas Motor Speedway supremacy. I love it. I've waited years to hear that. I've dealt with so many Tex ass comments. What's dumber than Texas? Nothing. What's the SpongeBob line? The number of Texas Motor Speedway jokes I've had to suffer through over the years.
You and me have suffered for our home tracks in different ways, and then Danny has gained a home track in Nashville in that time.
Danny has 5 F1 tracks. Like, I don't know how this is fair. How is this fair? All right.
Oh man.
Thank you all for the support tonight. We really do appreciate the super chats. Again, we will be back next week, same time, different place. We'll be at the Iceberg on the Icebergs channel, 8 p.m. Eastern time. This was a fun show. This is one of my favorite shows of the year. Glad you all could be a part of it. Have a great weekend, folks. Enjoy Watkins, Glen. We'll talk to you next week. Take care, y'all.
Drivers! Start your engine!
Funny carnage, full head on them, wound up. Yeehaw, boys. Holy. It's a junkyard.
Spend too much time hitting people.
Chill, second. No gas, gotta hang off here. Don't overdrive. Just let me do my job. 10 times. I don't care if I wreck the whole field. I'm over him. He's just a moron. That was an absolute bullshit. Not clear. Awesome. I tell you, I'm on my race. What the fuck are you at?
and see that.